Hello.
Thanks for coming. Hello, Nancy. Oh, wait, there we go. I couldn't get the comments to come up. Couldn't add Lee. Oh my goodness. It's gonna be a wacky Saturday, everyone. Hi, Leanna. It's good to see you. Hi, Night Owl. Asian. Hello. Hi, Anita. Hello, Sherry. It's good of everybody come. Tell us what you're reading. Tell us what your scavenger hunt pick was and what you rated it. We'll start that discussion after the first sprint. That way more people have had time to come in. But what are you guys reading today?
I am reading Slashing Through the Snow. I am 58% done right now.
Oh, I'm so jealous. Oh, it's what? It's 17 days and I can start it. 17.
There you go.
17.
Won't she do it? 17 days.
So,
Can you
what are
hold
you
out?
reading, Storm?
I'm reading Malamander, and I found an audiobook for it, so I'm like happy. And the narrator's like really cool. So
Awesome. I'm going to be finishing up Granny on Board. They're really short, and it says I'm at 46%, but it's only like 3 hours in total. So,
Right.
So I'm reading that, and then I'm also reading On the Lamb when I get back to it, but my eyes just get so tired so fast. So yeah. But I'll get it. Night Owl says I'm reading Lone Defender by Shirley McCoy. I've heard of that author. Or maybe I'm thinking of Shirley MacLaine.
That's what I thought of right away.
Cajun said, I'm reading Class Reunions or Murder. Are you liking it? Oh my gosh, I love that series. Anita said, I'm reading Marriage Can Be Mischief. Oh my gosh. And MSW Murder in Season. MSW.
I don't know that one.
I'm trying to think if that's like abbreviation for an author. Like, with 3.
Right.
I'm not sure. Marriage Can Be Mischief is the newest one in the Amanda Flower matchmaking series, and I'm waiting for it to come out on audio. Oh.
yeah, I need to get the second one in that series, so then I'll be caught up for one. Like
Murder, She Wrote. I'm sorry. I did not mean to cut you off, Storm.
Murder, She Wrote. Thank you. See, I figured it was an abbreviation for something. My mind, honestly, because of my job, it goes to Masters in Social Work because we have to put our credentials. And so MSW in my world is
right.
Masters in Social Work. So I was like, what is MSW? And then it took me a minute. Gotcha. That makes sense. Like it. Nancy said reading Charles Dickens biography 65% through. Are you enjoying that? I like biographies every once in a while. But I usually read musician biographies. Although I've read a bunch of Betty White's autobiographies and biographies about her. I enjoy.
My friend Barb reads Prince biographies and
cool.
Prince this and Prince that. She's a huge Prince fan.
Yeah. Hi, Lisa. I enjoyed Prince. I was sad that he, passed away so young.
Yeah, never somebody I listened to. I only know the one song that was on Pretty Woman when she's singing it in the bathtub.
Oh, yes.
When does she sing? Purple Rain? No?
No.
I don't know what.
I just want your kiss.
Oh, kiss, yeah.
I don't know what it was called. That's all I can remember.
Yeah.
Yep. Leanna said reading Last Will and Testament. Excellent. Sherry said I'm reading physical copy of the Chocolate Shark Shenanigans by Joanna Carl, and my audiobook is The Hermit of Elton Forest by Ellis Peters. Interesting. That's a cute name. The Hermit of Elton Forest. I like it.
Is that Ellis Peters? Is that the Brother Caulfield series? Sherry? I think so, maybe. I think that's the guy's name. It's like a mystery where he's like it's like he's a monk, like way back when.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I like books that have like religious figures as the sleuth, any religious figure, like whether it's a monk or a priest or a nun, or I don't know why I enjoy it, but I do. I do. Blake said, "Hi everyone, I'm reading Fatal Fried Rice." That's the Vivian Chin, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to get back to that series.
That's
Mhm.
like
Created-
one of them that's going on my list next year. I need to try to.
Mhm.
Oh, I
Yes.
created my SAS list for 2022, and then I
Oh.
created, the 22 books series that I'm going to start as a replacement for the books I finished either this year or last year. And I'm like, I know I shouldn't start 22, but you know what? I'm gonna do it. And
doesn't
then
hurt
next
to
year I'll
plan.
just work on those. What's that?
So it doesn't hurt to plan ahead.
I mean, if I finished around, I didn't finish all of my series because some of them I just couldn't find, but I finished probably on my SAS list 16 of 20 of 21, and then I finished a few other series that weren't even on my SAS list. Like I'm caught up in the Haley Powell. It wasn't on my SAS list. It just happened that I caught up on it. And then there's been other series like Apple Cider Slang or Apple Cider Shop or whatever. That wasn't on my SAS list, but I'm caught up in it. So I bet you overall I finished probably 21, if not a few more. I'm going to make a video on it, so I'll research exactly what I did. But so I figure I give out I take out 22, I bring in 22.
I haven't like finished a lot, but I finished a lot more than I probably would normally.
Yeah, absolutely.
This year, and a lot of them weren't even series on my SAS list. So they were just other series that I was almost finished with. And I was like, well, I just might as well go ahead and read this one or that one.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I know there's several that weren't on my SAS list, but I'm caught up.
And like staying caught up with the Christmas tree farm. So I'm caught up and,
When I read that third one, November 30th, I'll be caught up in that series. So I figure, I could start 22 series. I'm going to. So, and I made that list and I had like 50 that I wanted to start. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I narrow it down. Probably more than 50, to be honest with you.
I'm probably going to restart a bunch of series that I was wanting to finish, but I never did. And then I forgot anything and I'd have to read the first one over because I just can't remember.
I think I have a few of those too. I know I do. I have the Karen McInerney, not the Dewberry Farm, but her other one. I can't think of what it is. The Whale Inn. Blue Whale Inn, or I don't remember what it is. Something Whale Inn series. I started that so long ago and remember liking it, but I would have to go back. And the other one that I know I'd have to go back, I'm sure there's more, but the Nancy Martin series, the one that's like, I don't know if it's a play off Marilyn Monroe, but one of the covers always reminds me of that because it's like murder, something about diamonds, and it looks like a woman, like maybe a portrayal of Marilyn Monroe. But I like the series, Blackbird Sisters or something. But I'd have to go back and start those.
Well, I think I know what that series. I think I've got a couple of the ebooks because they were on sale or something.
Yeah, it was good. I remember liking it, but I would definitely have to go back and visit it. The only thing with some of those is when I went back and visited, like I went back to Hemlock Falls, which is a series I read a long time ago. I forgot how non-cozy some of the older cozies are. And I just don't know if I want to go back and read them. Like I end up DNFing the Hemlock Falls because I think I got I think there was like 2 F-bombs in there. And I'm just like, and I'm not a prude, but I don't want it in my cozy. I just the way
some of the ladies were talking about this one series or whatever, like the one DNF'd it. And then the other one said, yeah, they didn't get very far or something. And I was like, okay, so now I'm like super curious. So they like private messaged me and like told me what was in it. And I was like, oh yeah, I would have too. It was like animal abuse and all kinds of stuff. And it was like, it was horrible too. A little kitten and stuff. And I was like, no, that's not supposed to be in a cozy. That's not cozy.
Yeah. See, yeah,
that's not.
Yeah, I don't want that either. Murder, She Wrote. I am. Oh, that's what you're enjoying. I can't remember. It's something I like that you're reading. And I'm like, oh, are you enjoying it? Oh, the Class Reunions of Murder.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. That's awesome. Yes, I'm enjoying very much. He He really was a nice guy. Oh, that's cool. I like that. Putting up my Christmas tree tomorrow after church. Tomorrow would have been my grand's birthday and his Remembrance Sunday. I don't know if that's a global day. Oh, I've never heard of that, but that's a really cool holiday to observe.
Sounds like kind of like our Memorial Day. I don't know.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. But I feel like on Memorial Day, although I mean it's in general, I still feel like it's geared towards veterans. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But anyways, that's a really cool day. Huh. I put up our Christmas. No, I didn't. Kevin put up our Christmas tree. So it is up. And not all of my Christmas decorations are out because I didn't want him to do the rest of it because it takes putting away the decorations I keep out all year to put out the Christmas. And he'll just like shove it in a room somewhere or something like that. And I'm like, no. I don't want my stuff broke. I don't want it. No. So yeah.
Mom was our Christmas tree person, so we haven't had a tree since she's been gone.
Gotcha. Our tree's not very big. I mean, I bet you it's maybe 5 foot or so. It's a little taller than me, so maybe a little more, but
I may get me one of those little glass trees, and stick it up behind me whenever I do videos.
yeah.
Christmassy as it gets.
My husband has one of those little Charlie Brown trees that's just the one stick and then it's got the one ornament.
Little thing, yeah.
He got that when we were in the apartment and didn't want to. We didn't bring our tree from home from Illinois. And so the first year when we were in the apartment, we didn't want to buy a big tree and then have to move it over to the new house. And so he got that and it's just the one and the one little ornament. He puts it up in our window now. I read 2 bios for nonfiction. Oh, cool. That's awesome. Nonfiction November. I'd rather him do that. I'm happy with the Charlie Brown tree in the window because I don't think he's serious, but he always threatens to get one of those silly leg lamps. And I don't want that. I mean, and it's not that it's even offensive to me. I don't like the kitschy. He's teasing. He doesn't really want that, but he just says it because he knows that it annoys me. But
that's funny.
Is it the Brody Cat?
It's the Brother Caulfield series. Spell check thing.
Oh,
the comment below, or so it says.
Oh, yes, and autocorrect and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Leanna, Sass is serious about series. So Elizabeth from Lizzie Fave Books created this challenge where, I mean, people kind of altered it, and that's fine. But the original concept was to pick 21 series that you're in the middle of and try to make progress or catch up on them. And for people like me who have probably 150 series going, and I mean ongoing just from years and years and years, like I read them, got caught up, and then started other series and forgot about the older ones or whatever. It's been very, very, very helpful to getting caught up for me. So, but that's all it is. You just create the list of 21 series that you want to work on and make progress in.
I'm still working on writing down all my series and stuff, and I'm at 114. I'm getting nervous.
Wow. I know. I haven't.
And that's like romance, middle grade, regular mysteries, cozy mysteries, whatever. It's just all the things that I had going that most of them and some of them it's like, why did I quit? I had like 2 to go and I'd have been finished with series.
Yeah. Totally.
Yep.
I feel you. I'm the same way with some of them.
But I have found some things interesting too. Like this one series, I thought it was completely over because the publishing company, it's no longer it's not on NetGalley anymore. It was kind of I think a branch off of Penguin or Random House. It was called Alibi, and they did a lot of mystery stuff on there and a lot of cozy mysteries and things. And this one, it has been finished for at least a couple of years. So I figured it was done, but I think she must have got the rights back to her series. This is Marty Wingate, and it's the Potting Soil series.
Oh, okay.
And she has a new one come out this year, but it's not under. It's I think it doesn't have a publishing company, so I'm thinking maybe she just done it herself. And so I was like, oh, I thought I only had one to go. Now I got two.
Right. Yeah.
I like that series. So
The potting. What is it? The potting.
the potting shed series,
Potting
I
shed.
think maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a gardener. She does English gardens, and she moved from I think it was Texas to England to work in an English garden.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. That's awesome. Series about series. Yes. Oh, there you go. Blackbird Sisters. I love that series. Only the wrap up novella left. Yeah, I read them so long ago. I know that's one series I'd have to like start over with because I remember really enjoying them, but there's no way I could pick up. We do Remembrance on All Saints Day. Yes, true. Yep. Yeah, Remembrance Sunday is for those who died in World War One and Two. It just happened to fall on my grand's birthday this year. It's always the Sunday closest to November 11th. Gotcha. Okay. I literally have a Charlie Brown Christmas tree I got at Walgreens and I love it. That's where I'm pretty sure that's where Kevy got his. Yeah. Yep. Nice, Lisa. We have a 7.5 foot tree. I really love Christmas trees. I do too.
Wow, that's a big Christmas tree.
I really love them too. Do you guys want to do a sprint at 20?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
And I have a Minge on the bench I also love instead of Elf on a Shelf. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
People go crazy with that Elf on the Shelf. Like my friends, well, now it's been a few, but a lot of my friends now their kids are getting a little bit older, but in the last few years they were younger and they would have like a group chat and send picture after picture of what they did with their elf. And I'm just like, oh my God, if I see another.
And they were like, some of them were super complicated and creative that they would come up with. Yeah.
I have a friend who used to do the Elf on the Shelf with her kids and everything. She has 2 kids, but now they're older and they know all about that stuff. And she was like so disappointed because that was like her favorite Christmas thing to do was the Elf on the Shelf.
Yeah.
So now they've decided to make it a game, like because everybody knows about it. So the first person hides it, and then somebody has to find it, and then that person finds it. They try to hide it, and then whoever finds it last or whatever gets like a prize or something.
Oh yeah, that's a cute idea.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, but like Lee, and that's what I'm saying. Like there was a group chat of like my friends of like ideas, or just like the men would try to outdo each other when it was the men, like when I say it was the men. I'm sure the women did too.
Oh yeah,
you could always tell with the men.
Yeah, I see a bunch of interesting pictures on Facebook whenever
I know. I'm like, I don't even have that time to take care of myself, let alone figure out where I want to put an elf. No, I'm kidding.
Well, the one time they did it, my friend did it really cute, and her and her husband planned it, and they had the elf murder a gingerbread man that they had in the house. So there was like clues left over for the kids to find out how the gingerbread man got killed. I'm like, you guys have a lot of time on your hands, and like
that's what I'm
the
saying.
Kids, the parents were so into it, and the kids like didn't care. They're like, oh well, gingerbread's dead. That's it. Like they didn't want to play along.
I know. I think it's more entertaining for the adults than it is.
By far. Yeah. By far. That's so funny. Oh, it is 20 after. I'm trying to stay more on top of getting these sprints in. Do you want to do 20 minutes?
Sure.
Whatever.
All right, guys. Happy reading. We'll see you back at 40. Hello, everyone. How was y'all's sprints?
Pretty good. I
got my audio.
got 64% through.
Excellent. Are you liking it?
Yes.
Oh, I'm so jealous. 17 days. I'm gonna start a countdown.
She's gonna every day in the general chat. She's gonna be like 16 days.
Yeah, I had the blues countdown. I have this countdown. Oh my goodness.
Funny.
What about you, Storm? How was your sprint?
Oh, good. I don't remember exactly where I started, but I'm at 26% into it, and the narrator's like really good, and because it's a kid's book and everything, and he does really cool voices. He does a really good job, and he gets like there's a really kind of an intense moment, and he kind of like speeds up a little bit, and it gets all like he's really good.
That's awesome.
Love that.
The narrator can really make a difference. So, start telling us what animal themed cozies that you read, and we'll start pulling them up. We'll have to pull them up on my phone, because we don't have Cozy has 2 monitors, so she's able to be on one, and then and obviously I don't have that set up, so we'll just have to pull it up.
We're winging it today.
Yeah.
But and along with what you read, tell us what you rated it. So, Storm, what animal book did you read?
I read Lemon Drop Dead.
And what did you rate it?
4 stars.
Yay! So, Lemon Drop Dead is number 6 in the Amish Candy Shop series, which is one of my favorite series of all time.
Yeah, I really like it too.
And here, the cover, it's going to be really hard to see, but there's the cover. And in this one, it says, so in general, I'll just tell you, it's probably easier to kind of do a synopsis of the series for this one, just because, so because it's number 6, it's not like 1 or 2, but basically the main character is Bailey. She lived in New York City. She was a chocolatier for like a really famous, and she was going to be, very renowned. And her grandparents, who are Amish, live in Harvest, Ohio. In the first book, the grandfather gets sick, and she comes back to Harvest to help with their chocolate and candy shop, and she ends up staying. So it's so much fun. There's a little pet pig named Jethro, and he's adorable and gets in lots of trouble.
And in this one, Emily has a like kind of like a secret that she didn't want nobody to know, and Bailey knows about it, and the murder kind of revolves around that secret and everything, and so yeah, it was pretty good.
So that series, because somebody's reading it today, I don't remember who said they were reading it, but that series, the Amish Candy Shop series, spun a spinoff, which is the Amish Matchmaking series. It takes place in the same town. It's just a different main character. And I really, really enjoy that one. It's not that it's necessarily one of my favorites like the Amish Candy Shop, although I really like it. I like seeing the same characters, but in a different light, because I feel like in the Amish Candy Shop, I think I've said this in one of my videos, I think Ruth is like one of the best examples. So Ruth is the bishop's wife, so the Amish bishop, which is like the head honcho, right? And he would be like the priest or the pastor or something like that. And he's like over all the district. Like the bishop in my hometown is over both. So my town and the town next to us is they're both Amish communities. It's one bishop, and he's kind of the head, the head honcho, so to speak. He'd be the preacher. Okay, so she's the bishop's wife, so she's kind of like, the first lady of the Amish world. Okay. She gets her way in the Amish Candy Shop. Everybody kind of is scared of her. They're like, oh, just let Ruth do what she wants because she has all this power and control. But in the Amish Matchmaking series, she's also in that one. But the main character is an older woman who is actually the same age as Ruth and went to school with her from like a young age. And so she doesn't let her push her around. And she's like, I don't care, Ruth, and like stands up against her and stuff. And so it's a totally different dynamic, and it's really fun.
I like it because it has the same atmosphere kind of as the other one. So, I mean, it might not be like a favorite like that one because it's kind of branched off, but it still has the same atmosphere. And then it's got the fainting goats. So, I mean, you got like that.
I love the goats. Yes.
I only read the first one, so I need to read the second one. So
it's really good. So the fainting goats. So in the candy shop, one of the ladies in town, Juliet, whose son is the boyfriend of the main character, Bailey. So his mom, Juliet, has a pet pig named Jethro, and that's the animal in that one. In the matchmaking series, there's 2 fainting goats, and they're always getting loose, and people think that like they killed them because they'll like chase after them and they'll catch them, and then the goats will faint, and they think it's so funny and cute.
That's
it's adorable.
cute.
Yeah, and their names are like Peter and Paul, or they're like human names or something
Right.
like that. Peter and I might be wrong on that, but there's something like that.
yeah,
That's cute.
Father bought a 5-foot tree, only had 4 branches on top because the rest were trimmed off for wreaths, and charged my father 25 cents.
That's great. That's great.
Oh. Anita said, Lee, that is so cool. A great murder mystery idea. That's for the Elf on the Shelf.
Yeah.
It is a really good, cute idea. Hey, Mel. I'm a bit late to arrive. You were not that late. We kind of just, you're good. Put a reminder on, but that happens to me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Currently reading the last, which is the number 5 in the Victoria Abbott's book collector series, The Hammett Hex. I love it. Awesome.
Nice.
Susan G. Hi. Glad to see you. She said, just got home from the dog park, still reading Murder Served Simply by Isabel Allen, who is AKA Amanda Flower that we were just discussing.
Oh, nice.
It was like one of her first series or something like that. Sharon said, little late to the party, but very happy to be here. Hello, Sharon. We're happy to have you. Tell us what you're reading. And if you've read any animal cozies lately, tell us what that is. Lee, what is your animal cozy?
Well, I'm still in the middle of reading mine. It is Slashing Through the Snow. I will have it done May, though.
Gotcha.
And there's a little cat on the cover.
Gotcha. So my animal cozy was a brand new series. The book was called Get Away with Murder. And the series, I don't know if the actual title is Mountain Lodge, but the main character, I can't think of her name right now. I'm getting to Goodreads. Sorry, guys. Trying to get to Goodreads. Oh, for Pete's sakes. Hold on. There we go. It would help if I typed it in correctly. Or autocorrect it and change it to something crazy. Diane Kelly, I believe, is the author.
Oh, the Get Away with Murder one? Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh, Joanne. No, I want Diane. Isn't it amazing, too? Like, you can be one letter off and, like, Joanne Kelly pull up nothing Diane Kelly wrote, but it will pull up, like, Jessica Fletcher.
Yes.
But you couldn't figure out Diane Kelly. It's one letter. One letter.
I hate the fact that if you don't put like the or the A on it or whatever, it can't find it.
Yeah, it's completely useless. So
I just don't understand. Like, it's one letter off, and you show me all these results, but it'll be like nothing related. It'll be like, here's your War and Peace. And I'm like, but you couldn't get to Diane Kelly?
That's like
it's like the autocorrect thing or what it wants you to, you put, and it's like, that doesn't even look like the word I was trying to spell.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's like when I was reading 1984 and it suggested like those Siamese sex twins or whatever. I'm like, how are those two related? Like, where do you get your suggestion from?
So here is Get Away with Murder. I know it'll be hard to see, but Here's the cat. That is the animal, of course, not the bear. Although, I mean, it's a bear statue, but the cat. The other side. Tiffany.
Technically, that is an animal on the cover.
True.
Yeah, true.
The cat in the series, his name is Yeti. It's an all-white cat. Or they call him Yeti for short, but the name is like something really long with Blizzard, Blitz, something. I don't know. Something like that. It's really cute. They call him Yeti. And in this one, the book starts out and the main character and her husband are divorcing after years of marriage, but it's very amicable. Like they're joking. They're still very good friends. They've just, yeah. And so she is purchasing a mountain lodge in the Blue Ridge Mountains. And of course, murder ensues. I gave it 3 stars. I did enjoy it. I think that the star rating on it, and the reason I didn't give it more was because I had it so built up in my head.
Yeah.
Because I've been waiting for that kind of cozy mystery series for a while, like that kind of theme where it's like skiing or mountain lodgy kind of.
Did you have it more cozy in your head than it was, or?
Yeah, because like I said, I've been wanting a ski lodge, mountain lodge, cozy themed. I feel like you have a cozy theme for everything, but there's not that many. Now there are books that take place that, that sort of thing. Don't get me wrong, within a series where somebody's traveled or something like that. But I thought that would be a really fun series like to have as a theme. So I was really, really looking forward to it. And I still enjoyed it. Do not get me wrong. But I think in my head, I was so anticipating it. So it's probably deserves more stars than what I gave it, if you know what I mean.
And you might like the next one better because
that's
got
absolutely
the feel for it now, and you know not to expect what you thought you were going to expect.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And sometimes second books are just way, way better flowing than first books in series because of all the setup to a first book. So excellent. Leanna said 11 pages. Nancy got 4% done. Night Owl read 14 pages. You guys are awesome. Lisa said read 18 pages and found an instrumental Christmas playlist to have on while I'm reading. I love that, Lisa.
Nice.
That's so cool. Cherry said 34 minutes. You have 34 minutes left. You listen to 34 minutes. I didn't read 6%. This is like 400 and something pages, bringing down my stats.
We'll take that into consideration, though.
Yes, we will, and that's still awesome. But that's funny.
That's still pretty good for a big book to read that much during a sprint. So
absolutely. I'm about 52% through Marriage Can Be Mischief, which is the matchmaking series that I was saying with Amanda Flower. Hello, Donna. She said, hi, everyone. Just joined and just beginning Toxic Toffee, an Amish candy shop series by Amanda Flower for the Animal Scavenger Hunt pick. That's so funny because
I think that one was a popular one this go around.
Yeah.
I love that because that is one of my favorite series of all time. Mm-hmm. This pin for a higher number 4 stars. Oh, good. Go ahead, Storm. Awesome.
I got it here. I don't know if you'd see it very well. I was trying to see if it would work. It's awful shiny, but that's it. And then I'll get on here and read it because I had to get on there to get a bigger picture. It sounds like really cute. It says, smarmy personal ads, daring declarations of love. Writer for hire Jane Austen has pinned them all. But when one of the love connections she made is broken up by murder, Jane finds herself freelancing free of charge and uncovering more than she bargained for. No one seems to need her help more than geeky, gawky Howard Murdoch. His request is simple enough. A letter proclaiming his undying love for Stacy Lawrence, a gorgeous aerobics instructor. Let's see. The fact that he's never actually met the woman gives Jane pause, but she soon overcomes her misgivings, warming up her computer and starts pitching woos on Howard's behalf. To Jane's surprise, the letter is a success. The unlikely Romeo lands a date, but his triumph is sadly short-lived. On Valentine's Day, Howard finds Stacy bludgeoned to death with a bludgeoned to death with a thigh master.
Oh my gosh!
And is quickly named the prime suspect. Upon hearing the news, Jane is shocked. Sure, Howard's awkward, eccentric, and a tiny bit odd, but a murderer? That's hard to believe, especially after a little sleuthing turns up a whole bunch of people who harbor less than loving feelings towards Stacy. So,
Oh my gosh, that sounds funny. And I have heard nothing but
yeah,
really good things
everybody
about
says
that.
it's like really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
And I
really
know
good
that
things.
Cozy says it's really good on audio because I guess there's a voice for Prozac the cat or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing, Nancy. And she gave it 4 stars, so she really liked it. And then, of course, she said the animal is the cat Prozac that Storm was just mentioning. Leanna read Trouble at the Jam Fest, which is number 4 in the Food Lovers Village series. I'm going to try to make it bigger. There's the cover. Isn't that cute?
Mm-hmm.
So I like this series.
Yeah, I thought that series was okay.
Yeah,
It
I'm
was
caught up in
solid,
it.
just okay series, and no, not great, but it was okay.
Yeah, I'm caught up in it. I liked it better than her Spice Shop series. Did you read
See,
any
that's
of the
one of
Spice
those
Shop?
that I have to catch up on, and I don't remember anything about it. I know I read like 3. I think there's like 2 left, and I'm like, why didn't I just read all?
Yeah, I enjoyed the Food Lovers Village more than the Spice Shop. Have you read either of those, Lee?
Mm-mm. No.
So in this one, our main character, Erin Murphy, she is so she manages her family's mercantile store. It sounds like it's described as like an old general merchandise store, which I think is really fun. A jazz festival is coming into town, and one of the banjo players, from what I remember, was like this really nasty guy, and then you can tell where that's going and leading. And it looks like Leanna gave it 5 stars. I like that. You love that you enjoyed that. It says that I gave it 4. So like I said, I like Leanna. Have you read her other series, the Spice Shop series? I interviewed her and she was so sweet. But yeah, I enjoy that series. I like specialty shop stuff. I know we've talked about that, and I feel like that is one that's really fun to read.
So I pulled up the one for this one.
Yay! Go ahead, Lee.
It's a cat on the cover. You probably can't see it, but this is number 3 in the Village Library Mystery Series. It says sometimes a weekend trip is stressful, especially if you're on borrowed time. Fall is beautiful in the Spring Mountain Village in North Carolina. The leaves are changing colors on the mountainside. The sky is bright blue. The air is crisp. Librarian Ann Beckett's friend and coworker Luna has persuaded her to take a break from the library and attend a house party on the lake with her. The modest house Anne was expecting is more of a mansion with amazing mountain and lake views and an indoor swimming pool. The other guests initially seemed fun, but as time passes, tensions grow. When one of the guests is later found murdered in the pool, Anne works through the puzzle since now someone else is on borrowed time.
Ooh, and who is that by?
That is by Elizabeth Spann Craig.
Oh, okay.
And
also Riley Adams.
Cajun gave it 4 stars, and she loves Fitz the library cat.
Love it, Cajun. I'm gonna have to check that one out because I really loved. So she writes under Riley Adams, who has the barbecue restaurant series, which is quite a bit older. I loved that series, so I probably need to check out the other one.
Nice.
Susan G said she read Murder Simply, Served Simply. Yes, this is by Isabel Allen, who is AKA Amanda Flower. And there is a French bulldog. I can't think of his name, but he is scared of birds. He's really scared of a lot of things, but he's scared of birds, and he's so funny.
Yeah, this doesn't. You can't really see him on here.
Okay,
He's
good.
like
Go ahead,
laying
sir.
right in there in the.
Oh, is that the dog or the cat?
It's the dog. It's a little French bulldog. He's so cute.
Yeah. He's got a really funny name. Do you want to read the thing for us since you have it pulled up?
Yeah, it says Angie's parents are visiting Rolling Brook for Christmas, but unfortunately her ex is joining them. Luckily, Angie has no time to dwell on her romantic troubles as she prepares her store, Running Stitch, for the town's traditional progressive dinner, featuring a sleigh ride stopping at each stop with a different course of the meal. Well, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The meal ends with Amish-themed Christmas play at the Swiss Village Hotel and Barn, but the performance is cut short when the actress falls from the scaffolding to her death. After the sheriff suspects foul play, tension between the Amish and the English heat up, as do rivalries among the acting troop. How do you say that? Now Angie and her quilting circle must stitch together clues before they're the ones running for cover. Includes quilting tips.
Nice.
I've read that whole series and I really, really enjoyed it.
It sounds cute, and I'm a sucker for little French bulldogs, so now I want to read that one.
Yeah, and like I said, he's scared of everything. I remember for sure that he's scared of birds. I think he's scared of a lot of things, but he's constantly, yeah, he's funny. It's a really cute series. Thanks for sharing. What did you give it? Did you already say? I'm sorry if you did. What did you rate it? Sherry said, I read Marshmallow Malice, 3.5. Lights of Jethro in the mix. With a mix of Puff and Nutmeg. Mystery was meh. And there was a storyline I thought was stupid and unnecessary. I don't remember that one.
Yeah. I just read that one, and I know that one, I believe, is the one where what's her face? Juliet's getting married to the Reverend.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of stuff happened with the Reverend, and the lady who died knew the Reverend.
She comes in and tries to interrupt the ceremony.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember kind of, but I don't remember enough of it to. And so she gave it 3.5 stars. What number is that in the series? That is
number
also
5.
What?
It's number 5.
And that is also part of the Amish Candy Shop. Everybody read the Amish Candy Shop.
That's why I said there's a lot of them on here. So.
Ooh.
So for Buzz Off.
Go ahead.
I'm assuming there's bees on the cover because there's honeycombs. So
yes, she owns a shop.
It says after her mentor in the honey business is found suspiciously stung to death, beekeeper Story Fisher must sort through a swarm of suspects, including her ex-husband. Sharon gave that one 4 stars.
Excellent. And I know that that's a series that Cozy really enjoys. And then somebody else was just commented on it too, on a YouTube channel, on my comments. It might have been Sherry.
Okay.
I think she said that she read it and really liked it. I think it was Sherry. Anita read Claret in Present Danger by Sarah Fox and gave it 5 stars. Yay! This is part of the literary pub series. It's the newest one. That's awesome. Does anybody have it pulled up?
No.
Okay.
I just thought we were going in a circle, so I was like, all right.
Oh, I thought you read some of that series, so I thought you might know it.
Oh, yeah. So I do. So the main character owns a literary pub, and I haven't read this one because it's the newest one, but she brings in different authors and stuff. I'm going to pull up this specific one because I haven't read it. It's the newest. It's number 4. Let me see. It's slowly pulling up. Here is the book cover. I think the book cover is really cute. And the cat is laying on top of the book there in the middle. If you can tell, it's a cat. It's a big white fluffy cat. And Sarah, I interviewed Sarah Fox not too long ago, and she's going to be on the December recipe swap. She said that cat is modeled after her own. I'm trying to find the description. It's giving me all the reviews, but it's not giving me a synopsis. Hold on. Well, what's happening? I don't know why it's not giving me a synopsis, y'all. It's giving me a bunch of reviews. Normally it gives, all right, I'll look it up on Amazon.
Yeah, sometimes they do that. It aggravates me to pieces. It's like, can you just put something on there?
Yeah.
Even if it's like a small paragraph.
Yeah, that's weird. All right. So I'm going to Amazon. Sarah Fox. Here it is. Ooh, $12.99 on Kindle. All right, so it says, oh, there's a Renaissance fair and circus going on.
Uh-oh.
Oh my
He's all
gosh.
over this now.
That one's going up on our list a little higher.
Yep.
Yeah, yes. Attracting locals who can't wait to spend a few summer days lost in whimsical world of the all-knowing fortune tellers and daring acrobats. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Well,
It's weird for you, Tiffany.
I know. Well-read pub owner Sadie Coleman, which is our main character, is swept up in the magic herself when she serves drinks to the fair's resident wizard, the shamelessly brazen illusionist Ozzy Stone, and scores 2 tickets to his dazzling performance. Sadie has no complaints about indulging in a free show with her new beau, craft brewery owner Grayson Blake. But while Ozzy is an instant crowd pleaser, the real surprise comes when he collapses in the middle of its set. Oh, Ozzy is dead. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited for that. I did not know that. Oh, okay. That makes me so happy. Oh, and she gave it 5 stars. That's exciting. Do you want to do another sprint and then we'll come back to it? We'll do another sprint at 10 or quarter after.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Did you have the next one pulled up? It looked
Yeah.
like you did. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
The Killer Edition. It's number 13 in the Booktown series. She gave it 4 stars. It's a series I want to read really bad. It says, with her assistant Pixie picking up more responsibility around the shop, Tricia Miles suddenly has a lot more time on her hands. Tricia decides to join the local animal rescue board and enter the Great Stoneham Bake Off, but neither pans out as smoothly as she hoped. Balancing a bake off that's heating up with the frosty reception from the board, Tricia stops by Joyce Whitman's romance bookstore looking for a book to get her fired up. She stumbles on something hot, but it's an argument between Joyce and her neighbor Vera Olson instead of a steamy read. When Vera turns up dead in Joyce's garden hours later, Tricia has to wonder, could Joyce be a killer? Or is the culprit still lurking in town? One thing is for sure, someone in Stoneham is stirring up something more sinister than sweet. Tricia is determined to win the cutthroat cooking competition, but first she has to make sure no one else is in danger of getting burned.
Nice.
Awesome. And she, like Storm Red, she gave it 4 stars. This series was like, I've read multiple in this series, but I've kind of jumped around. I definitely read it during a time where I couldn't necessarily read all my cozies in order. And it's hit or miss for me. Like there's some of them that I really, really enjoyed, and then some of them that really frustrated me for one reason or another. I think part of it is that there's some characters in it that aren't necessarily the most pleasant, and they're not like a good example of Natasha in the Domestic Diva series. Like she's not very pleasant, but like she's meant to be not pleasant. Like she's in there as a character who you're supposed to not like, right? It doesn't feel like that in this one. It just feels like they wrote a character who's just, ugh, I don't know. I just don't like mean in my cozy. And sometimes I feel like there's, I don't know. And then other ones in the series I've really, really loved, but I love the atmosphere and the theme of it because the book town is a book town. Like everybody owns like different. Oh, you've read it too?
I've read the first 5, and every book, every store is like a different genre.
Yeah.
And the main character's cat's name is Miss Marple.
Yeah. So like Lee said, it's like a Main Street.
You can't see it, but there was a little gray cat on the cover.
Yeah, on the table. Yeah.
Do any of the characters bother you?
Yeah, I mean, some of them are annoying. Yeah, but I think that's part of what makes a great cozy town is when you have those characters that you're just like eye rolling, you can't stand. But because you love so many other things about the town, you just like you have to tolerate it.
I like it when there's one that you just really can't stand at the beginning, and you can see like they grow a little bit, like Mrs. Cole and stuff. My friend finished the Killer Research one, and she's like, "There's lots of Mrs. Cole. I love Mrs. Cole." And I remember at the beginning when we're all like, "I don't like Mrs. Cole."
Yeah.
She gave it 4 stars. Excellent. Anita said she'd be right back. Cool. My biography is 533 pages. It's long, but good. All right. So we're going to do our next sprint at quarter after. Or we can do it now. You want to do it now and do the 20 minutes and we'll be
Sure.
right at 30?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, let's do that. And then we'll get to everybody else's reading till 30. Okay, I got to go down and find it. All right, there we go. All right, everyone, happy reading. Hope everybody's enjoying their books. Hey everyone. How was your rewind? How was your sprints?
Mine was good. I think I got about 8% or so done. I'm at 36%. So actually, I
Excellent.
think that's 10% because I think I was at 26% before.
Oh, that's awesome. I got to 73% in my book, which is Granny on Board. It's number 7 in the Secret Granny series. So, this series, if you kind of don't know anything about it, it's on. Well, I've been getting them on Hoopla because I want the audio version, but I think it might be a KU. I can't swear to that. It's by Harper Lynn. They're very short, like 3 hours a piece. And the main character, Barbara, is a retired CIA operative, and she's moved to this really small town to be near her family. And I mean, she's led such an exciting life that the town is, and just kind of being a grandmother is hard for her. So she's always interjecting herself into these investigations. And she has gotten herself into so many pickles. And in this one, she's on a cruise ship with her boyfriend, Octavian, and a murder happens and she's on the case. It's really, really fun. I really, really enjoy it. So,
yeah, I've read the first one or listened to the first one, and it was cute.
Yeah.
One of those that I need to get back to.
Yeah. Hi, Lee.
Hi.
How'd
Sorry,
you do?
I was making a hot chocolate mess in the other room, so.
Oh, hot chocolate sounds yummy.
The mess didn't sound fun, though.
No, it does not sound fun.
But it does look like it's going to be delicious.
Ooh, I love hot chocolate.
Me too. And like it's super windy here right now, so I'm like, oh, I want that. And somebody is outside, got a fire going in their backyard. So,
oh, that's sweet.
I'm just like, it's perfect fall right now.
Yeah, because bonfires are like my favorite thing ever. I mean, they don't have them here in Florida, or not really. I mean,
common,
but where I moved from, I mean, it was like that was the thing that you did every weekend in the fall was somebody had a bonfire. Because I lived in kind of a rural area, but right outside of a city, so there was lots of bonfires and stuff. So that's awesome. I love that.
I got through 70% of my book. So
excellent.
Getting so close.
17 days. 17 days.
Well, this is also for one of the reading challenges I'm participating in, the Game of Tomes, which is like Game of Thrones, and that ends tomorrow. So
I love that. That's cool.
It just shows how crappy I've been doing with my reading that I'm still in the 14 days trying to catch up on the 3rd book, and there's only 3 books. So
I was going to ask you how you were doing on that, but okay.
Struggling.
See y'all. It was good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. I hope you enjoyed the Amish Candy Shop book.
Yes, the whole series is good.
Shannon said, just arriving. Hello. I hope you're doing well. She said during your read. So that's good. I'm just finishing up Erickson's Death by Apple, Hot Apple Cider. I think that's Alex Erickson, right?
Yeah.
Bookstore Cafe Mystery. Also finished with Last Train to Key West. Not cozy, but for book club. That sounds really fun.
And Death by Apple Cider has an animal on the cover.
There you go.
Oh, and it's so cute. The cover's so cute from what I can see.
The covers are cute. I wasn't a big fan of the series.
Oh, do you have the synopsis?
Yeah.
Just started pouring here.
It says, with autumn in full swing and Thanksgiving on the way, Chrissy's supplying cider and her staff is manning the apple bobbing booth at the town event. But when a patron dunks his head in and doesn't come back up, it soon becomes clear that Chrissy's brew wasn't to blame, but with her policeman boyfriend looking to make detective, she can't help but get drawn into the investigation. The victim was notorious for harassing not only her own bookstore, but the library and the school for promoting supposedly scandalous literature. But before someone censored him permanently. Now Chrissy will have to check out the stacks of suspects to find a killer who's rotten to the core.
That is
cute.
so cute. I love that.
Cute.
I think that sounds adorable. It was
I
the apple.
like how they put like stuff since it's a bookstore and it's like stacks of suspects, and then since it's the apples, it's rotten
Apple.
to the core. I think.
I love that.
Yep.
Love
Yep.
that.
I agree. I always think that's funny when they're able to do that. And I started Jen McKinley, Hitting the Books, a library lover's mystery.
That also has an animal on the cover, a little dog.
Nice.
I could read it.
I'm sorry. I thought you were.
What?
I know. I was waiting. I thought you were reading the thing. So
I was going to read it.
Okay. Okay. Good.
I didn't know if Storm knew this one by heart, because I know she's a bigger fan of this series than I am. So
Gotcha.
So in this one, it's a murder by the book in the latest hit library lovers mystery from the New York Times bestseller, blah, blah, blah. When a stack of library materials is found at the scene of a hit and run, library director Lindsay Norris finds herself dragged into the investigation as the police try to link the driver of the stolen car to the person who borrowed the books. Before Lindsay can delve into the library's records, the victim of the hit and run, Teresa Houston, suffers another accident, and the investigation shifts from driver negligence to attempted homicide. A clue surfaces in the confiscated library materials that could crack open the case, and it's up to Lindsay to piece it all together. But things are not as they seem in the sleepy town of Briar Creek, and when the driver of the stolen car turns up dead, Lindsay and her staff and her library friends have to hit the books before the murderer gets the last word.
Hit the books.
Just overall a great series. I'm sure Storm will agree. It's one of my
I'm chomping at the bits to get the next one, and I seen that Sherry had a book haul and it had killer research in it, and I was like, oh.
Excellent. I put that on my SAS list next year.
Such a good series.
I've only read the first one when we read it for the
knockout challenge.
Yeah, thank you. And I loved it. I just was so focused on SAS this year that it really kind of took over, like getting any further in a lot of series. 14 pages. Nice, Leanna. Let's see. Night Owl said she read another 13 pages. That's awesome. Sherry said read 7%. That's amazing. I'm back, but didn't get any reading done. Well, I'm glad you're back. I didn't get enough done. There's a thunderstorm hitting right now. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
read
as
5%.
she says it, it's literally started raining here.
Oh. Leanna said, being from Southern California, bonfires and wind make me cringe. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Bev said, hi, Bev. She said, I will be in and out of the chats trying to get a few things done. I read Get Away with Murder by Diane Kelly. I gave it 4 stars, which was my read too. So that was the one that we talked about with the Mountain Lodge. The main character, it starts out with.
She really didn't have the same expectation you did, so she gave it 4 stars where you gave it like 3.5 stars. So you probably would have if you didn't have it like that.
I probably would have. I agree. So
and just to say again, I was gonna say, how did your move go? Because I keep confusing her with Melissa.
Oh yeah.
Let's said it again.
Oh yeah, and so next week is our series read along number 4, On the Lamb by Tina Cashian. It's the Kebab Kitchen. I always want to say kitchen kebab. I don't know.
I do too. I want to say it that way too.
All right. It's the Kebab Kitchen series. So this will be number 4, and then we'll be finishing up the series in December with the 5th book, which is a holiday themed book. It's like Mistletoe Moussaka or something like that. And then we'll be taking probably a month off, maybe 2, and then we'll start a new series. So we're taking suggestions right now for series. Probably anything that's like 5 or less as far as length. And then we're trying to pick a book series that would have all the formats. So everybody has their choice of how they want to read it. So ebook, physical, or audio, which I know makes it hard, but we want everybody that wants to participate.
But I think I've realized when it comes to certain types of cozies, I really need an audiobook.
Yeah.
Because I think I would do better with this series if I had an
Mhm.
audiobook.
And I just need an audiobook because although I have been okay, it just takes me, I just can't get a lot of e-reading done with my eyes. Even like, yeah. So
Yeah, it's just harder because you have to like make it bigger, and then it takes like longer and your eyes get tired really easy.
yeah.
But I tell you what, I'm my eyes, like, I think this year they've gotten so much worse than they.
Oh,
I just got my eyes checked, and everything's getting blurry. I hate
Mhm.
getting old.
Yeah, my aunt tried to tell me don't get old. I'm like, I wish I knew the secret not to, but it keeps
Yeah.
happening.
I didn't love this one, hot apple cider, but I'm caught up, so I have to stick with the series. Gotcha. I'm sorry, did you tell us what you rated it? Maybe you did. I'm going back up to
I
your.
don't think she.
I don't think she did on any of them.
Okay.
Bye, Lisa.
I love to go eat. I'm so glad you guys are still on.
Oh,
Ooh, what
thanks
did you
for that,
have? What did you eat? What did you have?
Yeah. You should know this. Every time you mention food, you have to say what it is.
This is true. I really do always want to know what you're having.
I think everybody does that because, like, on other lives, when somebody asks, like Cece, she does the same thing. She's like, "And what did you have?"
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're gonna tell me you had food, I want to know what food you had. I mean,
Yeah.
just saying. Let's see.
April's going to be very upset because she was coming over at 4:00 and we were going to take a walk, but now it's raining. So
I was gonna ask you, like, during whenever it gets colder, does she still like push you to go for walks and stuff?
she'll still push me to go for a walk, but only like on the weekends during the daytime, not at night in the dark or anything like that. So, but yeah, no, believe me, January, first week of January, we're doing our New Year's 5K, and we do we do also do a 5K called the Halftime Hustle for Super Bowl. Yeah, she'll
do like the turkey trot.
She does the turkey trots too. Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Oh,
Lisa had leftover Chinese food. Yummy.
Yum.
Nice.
Yum, yum, yum.
And get this, my dad, he had his like diabetes thing, his blood test, and then they told him that, well, I don't think they were having a hard time with his blood. So I guess the liver and kidney part didn't work out so well. So he's like, come back in, we need to check this again. So he does that. Then he gets a call and they're like, well, your liver and kidney functions are fine, but you're low on sodium. So now he has to go back Thursday for another test or whatever it is. And I'm like, how on earth can that man be low on sodium? We eat Chinese every Sunday, just about. And then we eat some Chinese at home, and he uses lots of soy sauce that has lots of sodium in it.
Mm-hmm.
When he has biscuits and gravy or something like that, you see him with the salt. He can't see it coming out. And so I'm like, Dad, that's way too much.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, how on earth is he low on sodium?
Maybe he sweats it out. Does he sweat a lot?
Yeah, but like now that it's got colder, he doesn't sweat quite as much. And it's not because he says it's because he exercises so much. I said, exercising your finger doesn't count. Even the channel on the TV.
That's funny.
Oh, that's funny. Poor dad.
Yeah, my cousin, she'll take a bite of her burger, salt for the next bite. Take a bite, salt for the next bite. I'm like, that is way too much salt.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's I looked up, some reasons why and stuff, like if you drink a lot of water, if you exercise, if all these things. I was like, well, that's not him, that's not him, that's not him, that's not him. So I don't know.
You're like, of the 18 reasons, Dad, none of them are you. So
he's a mystery. Storm, a mystery. Yeah. He's a man of mystique.
He is a mystery.
Man of mystique. All right. Cation said, I didn't know low sodium was a thing.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if you can be high in something, you can be low in something.
True. Yeah, it's just like, I could see if he doesn't salt stuff, but,
but
he won't even salt it before he tastes it. And I'm like, I put salt in that. Can you at least taste it to see if it's too salty before you like dump a whole bunch of salt on it?
Do series read along have to be completed, or they can be ongoing as long as they're currently 5 books or less? Yes, so they don't have to be a completed series. That's a good question, Mel. They do not have to be a completed series, meaning that they're over. They can still be ongoing, but we want to only have that many books released, just so we're not doing like a year in just one series or something like that. Good question.
True.
My sodium was a little low, not a problem, but it can be meds or it could be diuretic effect. Okay. Interesting.
He takes the same medicines he's always taken, so I don't think it's that, but and he doesn't drink enough water for I think it to be that kind of.
Yeah, you need to drink a lot of water for that.
Yeah.
Oh, look who
Hi,
just showed up. Hi, Melissa. Now I can finally ask
your ears burning? Is your nose itching?
Since I've asked Bev twice already how the move went, and I meant you instead, I'm going to say, how is your move going? Did you move yet? How did it go?
Melissa, I'm glad you're here. That's funny. So, what do you guys have going on your channel? Do you have anything coming up that you're filming?
I just have my like reading vlog that'll probably be tomorrow. But
cool.
I need to just sit down and do some tags, but I keep not doing it.
I'll tell you, like, that's how I went like tag crazy. I would like find all the tags I wanted to do, put all the questions on a spreadsheet, answer all the questions, and then like film 3 at a time.
Yeah.
And then just edit them out.
I've done that quite a few times. That's why I was like, I need to just sit down. Mr. Francie tagged me for his reading goals one. And so I'm like, oh, I have to do that. I'm like, I'm not good with reading goals.
Yeah.
I find your videos about them very entertaining. Like your end of the year book tag. I really like that one. So.
Yeah, there's a couple people that have tagged me in tag videos that like, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I know how to answer those questions or what. And I'm like, oh no.
Well, it's like I told Mike his 8 round the world in 80 days or something. Whatever tag. I'm like, that's a really cool tag. And he's like, well, if you do it, I'll make a thumbnail. And now I feel like, oh, maybe I should try to do it. But then I'm like, I'm looking at the questions and I'm like, well,
it was a really cool video that he made, and the editing was really cool. Like how he had it like come up behind him, his pictures and stuff. Like remind me of like a Star Wars.
He does a green screen. Like, I don't know. He's really fancy. He has a green screen and everything.
Okay.
Because he was having some problems with a video one day, and he messaged me, and he's like, can I send you this part of the video and you can like look at it, and do I look bad? Does my shirt not match with, or the screen doesn't look right or something, you know? And I was like, so he's got a green screen. So.
And who is this?
Mike from Fit to Be Read.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
But that video is really cool that he did for the Around the World in 80 Days tag or 80 Books tag or something like that. I just love the way he edited it. I was really impressed.
And his questions are like so in depth, and it's like, oh, I don't know if I can answer these. Like, what book did you DNF it by page 80? And I'm like, well, I know I DNF'd some this, but I don't know what page number it was. But he's also like, you can make it your own too. Like, so, I mean, just pick a book you DNF'd and said, well, I don't know what page it was. Cause like, the Final Girls one support group, I don't know what page it was. Cause I read it ebook. So it was a certain percentage. So I don't know. Like,
Gotcha. Yeah, I would just put in general DNF down and, you know. Yeah. But, Shannon said, I didn't, but I am a 3 out of 5 in the Erickson book. I just caught up in the puns and seasonal cozies. Yes. Excellent. And Melissa said, "Oh, it's been going great. My bookshelves are getting installed today, so I can finally put up my books. It's been torture to not have them."
I bet.
Well, I'm glad you're getting settled in. That sounds awesome. Wow, I hope you do a video of your new place, Melissa.
Mm-hmm.
Mel said, "I had kidney issues last year as a side effect to other health issues. My nephrologist, so it's called."
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Told me low sodium levels in the body are not related to salt intake.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, that makes sense. Okay. Thank you. I think you're right, Mel. And then Mel said, "I had to take sodium bicarbonate tablets to increase my blood sodium levels and improve kidney function, but had to limit my salt intake. It's weird and confusing."
Yes, it is.
That sounds, yeah.
Science often is.
And if Dad has to do that, I don't know how it's going to go because limiting his salt intake is very hard. He thinks salt has to go on everything.
Oh boy. Well, I hope he. Melissa says, "I have a question for you, cozy ladies. We might have an answer, Melissa."
Bring it on.
Mm-hmm.
Mel said, "When people, myself included here, they're on low sodium levels, they think they should eat more salt, but that can actually be really harmful." Huh. Well, thank you for telling us all that because it's really
if that's how it is, it makes more sense because like Dad eats too. Like I always keep telling him he eats too much salt.
Yeah.
But.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Interesting. She said a nephrologist, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but anyways, is a kidney doctor. Interesting. I got my yarn around my charger cable.
It's like dark outside.
Melissa said, "So I've noticed a really big booktuber came out with a video called My Favorite Cozy Mysteries, but they were not cozies. They were mystery books that evoked coziness. Do you get annoyed with that?"
I think it's misleading.
Yeah.
Because people think, oh, these are going to be cozy mysteries or something, and then they're not.
And I think it's just like, I think it's just like anything. I'm sorry. I think it's just like anything else. You know, I think that when people say, oh, this is a women's fiction book, and you go in expecting that it's a romance book, even if I like both, if I'm looking for that and that's what I've been told, that's what I want it to be. And I feel like part of that too, Melissa, to me, is that I think publishers often sometimes advertise things as certain genres that don't really fall into that genre. And I don't know if they do it just simply as a mistake or if they do it as they think it'll sell better in this market, which I lead to thinking that it's more of that, unfortunately. But I think that's part of it too.
You know, it also comes to that, like, I hate it when they say it's Stranger Things meets this, or it's this meets that, or it's like this book and like that book, and then you read it and you're like, that was nothing like that.
Nothing like that, yeah.
It's like, I really liked this, so I was expecting it here, and then you get disappointed, and then you give it a lower rating because it's like, yeah, that wasn't.
And I think that the reason that if I would say that it annoys me more than anything is that then I think people get the wrong perceptions of cozies and they form their view by something that was told that it was a cozy mystery, and it's not necessarily. And then they really love them, but it's not really cozy mysteries, or they really dislike them and they're like, I hate cozy mysteries. And then when they tell you what they've read, they're not cozy mysteries, and that can be very frustrating.
Well, and it's like we talked about with that arsenic and adobo. It's classified as a cozy mystery, but not a lot of people. It wasn't cozy enough because it had some things in it, and I think what the publishers are like, well, there's no like gore or anything and all that stuff, so it's a cozy mystery. But I think if they would have just said it was a like light mystery or something, that might have been better off. Because like they're trying to get like millennials or younger people to read it and everything, but they also wanted the older people to read it and stuff that like cozies. And
well, I also think by being a big booktuber and saying your favorite cozy mysteries and not even really knowing that they're not cozy mysteries, like kind of discredits you a little bit that you don't know that they're. You said your favorite cozies, but they're not even cozies either. So
I think she should or whoever it was should have said my favorite mysteries that I think are cozy, kind of like have a cozy setting,
right,
or a fall setting, or
because you would also say exactly. You'd say if you were also to say my favorite mysteries with the grittiest plots, like that would be a thing too. So yes, I agree with you. Like saying cozy, yeah.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Cajun says, "Oh, I saw the same thing. I think, and yes, I got annoyed because I expected cozy mysteries, not cozy settings." So
there you go.
Yeah. Got some great grocery shopping to do, so I'm going to say goodbye for now. We'll talk to everyone in the Discord. Bye, Sherry. Have a great day. Thanks for stopping. Thanks for coming. Oh, that's the thing that Storm just read. It's kind of like she didn't know it was a separate genre. I was confused, and I think that goes to what Lee just said.
Yeah.
Cajun. Oh, everybody just saying bye. And then I wondered that too. Lisa said, "You're so right. There are Christian fiction publishers who publish books that have one reference to God or the Bible, like they need higher standards. When you go into a book, you have an expectation." Yeah. And I like all of those things. I like Christian fiction, I like women's fiction, and I like romance. And I like romance of any spiciness. I like Amish romance that have nothing, and I like really spicy romance. It's not necessarily for the spice. It just doesn't bother me if it's in there, if the plot's good enough. I'm saying that because if I go into, I think the same thing. I get annoyed when the animated covers are then really spicy, because in my mind, an animated, like, you know what I mean? Like when I say animated, it's like the drawn and they look very cartoony covers.
The illustrated covers.
Yeah. Thank you. The illustrated covers. And I get, in my mind, I guess I'm expecting something a little cozier or a little more mild, like a Debbie Maycomber or something like that. And then it'll be this, and I feel like I'm led astray, which is frustrating.
I've had some booktubers say that too, like Heather from Bookable, like she'll like, I really like this. She goes, but it was spicy. Don't let the cover fool you. This was really spicy.
Right.
Yeah. And it's not even, and again, I don't mind spicy books, but if I'm going into it thinking it's this, I want it to be this.
And going and looking at my series and stuff up again and writing it down and all that stuff. The Laura Bradford Amish series, some people have classified it as like Christian fiction or and I'm like, but it's not. It's not Christian fiction. It's just a cozy mystery set in an Amish town.
Right.
There's not a lot of religion really to it and everything. So I'm like, I think that might mislead people though. Oh, it's and they're going to expect like a love inspired like kind of thing or something, and it's not.
Yeah, you're right. If somebody says to me Christian fiction, I definitely have a picture that comes to the head of what I'm expecting. If it's not that, then you're disappointed. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Nancy said, "I think there are a lot of people unfamiliar with cozy mysteries as a separate genre." Absolutely, Nancy. Yeah. Absolutely. Lots of times when the amateur is the sleuth, it gets classified as a cozy because the detective is not the main protagonist. That is true.
What's like the one I read that Richard Osman, the Thursday Murder Club? Some people have talked about it as a cozy mystery, and then others think of it as just a mystery and stuff. That's why I said I think if you like cozy mysteries that you would enjoy it, because it wasn't real gritty, but still it had cozy kind of feelings, but I don't think it was supposed to be actually classified as a cozy.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Melissa said, "I think it's probably like where I think there's a difference between romantic books and romance books. Yeah. Like Outlander is a romance or a historical fiction with a heavy romantic element." Yeah. Totally agree.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you've got erotica that's just no plot and all sex.
Yeah. I don't mind spice unless it's way overdone. Not a fan of erotica. Gotcha.
That's like, I need plot with my romance.
I read some pretty spicy romances that I'm like, I wonder if this is considered erotica, but there's a plot. Like, I don't want to just read sex, don't get me wrong, but I'm saying like there's a series I can think of, and I love it because it's a mafia series, and I really love the mafia element. That's why I like it. And especially because it's international. And so like he is part of the Russian mob, but like in the books, he's constantly having conflict with like international other countries' mafia, like their head honchos. And I love that, but it's real spicy. Like it might be considered erotica. I don't know. I don't pay attention. I don't ever like go to the erotic section.
I always have a hard time with the spice meter thing. You know, some people will be like, this is like 3 on the spice or 4 on the spice or what. And I'm like, how do you define that? I always have a hard time. Right. Is it, I mean, if it's like got more than 2 sex scenes, is it like super spicy? Is that considered spicy? Or is there a certain amount of scenes?
Or how much wording and description describes?
Yeah. That's how I do it.
So sometimes you can have a couple of sex scenes, but the language is a little bit up there. So then that means it's a little bit heavier on what you would consider, you know, spicy, I guess. I don't know.
Well, you know, to me, yes, that's how I do it when I do like flame rating. But it's very subjective, like you're saying. Like, you know, I might consider you know, a 3 really spicy, or somebody else's 3 like a 5 in my mind, you know, like, oh, you know, so it's very subjective. But when I do it, that's what I think of. It's not just that, like, how many sex scenes are there? If there's 25 sex scenes, but it's just alluded to and off page, it's just like we went to bed, and then maybe they allude to, you know, a sentence that they were going to, you know, have sex. That's a lot different to me than like a full-on narrative of the sex,
of everything that's going on.
That's where I start saying, hey, this is spicy, guys. So I don't know that I count it as how many times necessarily. I think of it more as the elaboration and detail of
the details of the scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that would also be too, I mean, going in the opposite direction. If you said, oh, this is really spicy, and somebody who's into erotica reads it and they're like, oh, this was nothing, what are you talking about? It gave a different, you know, it led you in a different direction than what you thought.
Oh, absolutely. And there's do you guys know who Jen from the book Refuge is?
Yes, I like her.
She's really fun, and she reads all romance, but she's into like, I mean, real spicy stuff. And like, I like her, but even when she does her videos, like
she's got a spicy language.
Yes, she is blunt, and she will straight up like describe a scene, and I mean straight up describe a scene. And I'm like, I cannot believe she just said that. I mean, she's really fun to watch, but I'm like, whoa. But I brought her up because like people will say something's a 5, and she's like, they've never read, you know, if they think that's a 5. So I think I think that's a valid point.
She's one of those that gets mad if it's not descriptive. And
she does get she does get mad. She's like, I'm here for it. Like, oh.
Don't give me that off the page or off the
right. Yep, she sure does. She's super funny though. I like her a lot. Yeah. Melissa said, by the way, the trailer for Redeeming Love looks so good. Y'all gotta watch it. I don't know what that is. Is that a movie coming out?
It sounds like maybe. I don't know.
I'm going with the movie or TV show.
Redeeming Love movie, but it also said Redeeming Love book. So maybe
it's probably a movie based on the book then.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's a romance historical drama.
Oh, okay. Cool. Lisa said, yes, I don't love spice, and I feel like publishers really struggle to put things into genre or give a clear message of what's in the book. It means I'm missing out or DNFing because it's not what I want. Absolutely. I 100% agree. Nancy said, I'm with you, Storm. I want a plot and good writing. Some, I think, just do it for sensational. Oh, I'm sure they do. Yeah. I don't. Yeah, it's got to have a plot for sure. I'm not into like straight erotica.
It's like the Becky from the Bookish Bryants and her alien romances that she's on this big kick on right now.
The Ice Barbarians thing.
Yeah, well, and she was reading them before that, but she's like, oh, now I can just read all these. And he's like, that's not sci-fi. But like she's reading like these ones that I mean, if you look at the cover, I mean, I can see some of the blue aliens and the purple, but this guy's like scaly. And I'm like, no, thank you.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Mel said, I think Nora Roberts does a good job of balancing spice and plot / storyline. Her books are so good.
Yeah.
Lee is a really big fan of Nora Roberts. I used to be, and it's not that I'm not anymore, because I haven't given it a shot in a long time, because I used to love her older stuff, and then I feel like something happened in the middle of her career, and the books, maybe it was I changed, but her books started to all feel like the exact same story over and over again. I feel like the same thing happened to me with Danielle Steele.
Mm-hmm.
Her books felt like the same story every time. And then I feel like now both of them in their later careers have started writing really good books again.
Mm-hmm.
And I just need to get back to it.
For sure.
But I know Lee's a huge fan of Nora Roberts.
Yeah. A lot of her 80s, 90s, though, I agree. I've ranted about this before. It's literally the same exact story, just change the girl's name, her occupation, and the guy, and it's the same exact book.
Okay, that Redeeming Love is the Francis Rivers book or whatever. And yes, that's a very popular like Christian fiction, I think.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Francine Rivers, yeah, because Elizabeth talks about her a lot.
Mm-hmm. I've heard her mention the name, yeah.
Lisa said, I love historical fiction and Christian fiction because they tend to be more chill with the spicy stuff. Mm-hmm. To me, it can really ruin the plot. Gotcha. Makes sense. Nancy said, some sex scenes are beautifully written. Thornburg's was one of those books, not smutty. Yeah. It is. It's all very subjective. Absolutely. Ooh, you say Thornburg's, and I go, yes, love that book. One of my faves. That's awesome.
One of these days, I'm going to read that because I know that's her favorite. I'm going to have to do like a video, or a vlog where I read like some of my favorite booktubers, like favorite books.
Favorite books. There you go.
Yeah, I think that would be fun to do too. Melissa said, oh, sorry, it's probably one of the most popular Christian fiction.
That's why I looked it up, because I was like, okay, now that name sounds familiar. I thought it was probably that Francine Rivers, and it was. So.
That makes sense, Melissa. I just hadn't heard the title. That makes sense. Ooh, Lisa says, I'm going to have a look. I agree, Tiffany. I love her older stuff. Yeah. Sharon said, Nora Roberts is a comfort. You know what you're getting.
Yeah.
And that can be really, really, absolutely, really comforting, because I think the same thing of the Stephanie Plum series.
Mm-hmm.
I know what I'm getting every single time. I know
I think that's like with a lot of like big like writers. I mean, they have a formula. It works. People are still going to buy them. People still like them. Mm-hmm. Some people that have never read them come in and think, oh, I don't really like that. But then you're going to have those that like it. Like even the Crew of Hunters series by Heather Graham's like one of my favorite. It's paranormal romance. I love it, but it's very formulaic. It's the same thing over and over and over again.
But sometimes that's what you
come back for more.
Yeah.
Without, people rolling their eyes at me. I'm just making the point, and then we'll move on. I feel like
Winston.
The series that Thou Shall Not Be Named might be that for people too. That comfort read that they come back to over and over. And if you only read one a year, I think Cozies made this point, and I do think it's a fair point. Like if you just read them as they come out and you're only reading one a year or one every 2 years, but if you binge them, then you start like.
You see how basic and formulaic it is because you're binging. Yeah.
Okay, I'm moving on from it. It'll no longer be mentioned. Just
because I know a lot of people have said that about Heather Graham's books. Like they're all the same. And it's like, yes. And she has her people. And as long as her people keep buying them, she's going to keep making them, because she used to write like a whole bunch of different books and different kinds of romances and stuff. But I don't seem to see that as much as like she always has at least 2 or 3 Crew of Hunter series a year comes out. She's up to like 35 or something like that.
Wow.
So, and I'm on 15. I have a long ways to go.
Cation said, I like Nora Roberts written as J.D. Robb. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about that series.
Yeah, I want to try that series, and that's another intimidating series because there's like 51 out now, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
Wow. She's a busy.
And you know, those aren't like those fluffy, cozy mysteries that you could probably read like 2 or 3 of them a week if they're a big series like that.
Yeah.
You got down there.
Lisa said, I loved Terry Blackstock as a Christian fiction writer.
I like her too. I used to read her a lot.
Nancy said, yes, Melissa, I loved the Thornburgs. I'm due for a reread. That's awesome. Mel said, Nora Roberts has lots of mystery elements in her books, even though she's classified as romance. I'm still blown away by the whodunit reveal in Carnal Innocence all these years later. Chills. Have you read that one?
Not yet. That one's on my list.
Ooh. Well,
that is what I like about it. It's not just the straight up, and there's nothing wrong with like Harlequin romance or anything. I just like that even in her classification as romance, I like more when there's I don't even care about the romance part of it. I just like want to hear the rest of the story that's going on and that type of thing. Like you just said with the mafia romance, you're more into the mafia part of it. That's how I feel with Nora Roberts. I'm more into the rest of the story. And that's why like the older ones, I'm kind of like, ugh, like it's going to be this like romance type of thing I'm not into. And even though I would not ever shy away from even super spicy. Usually when I'm reading a romance book, I just skip over all the romance stuff and just like get to the rest of the plot of the story. I don't care about that part. So.
gotcha.
That's just me.
Gotcha. Nancy said, I like Terry Blackstock too. Cool. And Christian fiction. Gotcha. J.D. Robb is not cozy, right?
No, yeah. No, it's mystery.
Which I read a lot too. So
Lisa said, hey, Nancy, hit her up with all the recommendations. Yay. I love recommendations. Like my favorite thing ever. If anybody's looking for cozy recommendations, hint, hint. Anybody?
Anybody's fishing for recommendations.
Oh, goodness gracious. So, do you want to do another sprint at 20 after, and then we can go to 40?
Yeah.
Okay. Check out Fantastic Fiction for Blackstock's books. Awesome. Yeah, I love that site. Yeah, the Fantastic Fiction. It's really nice. It lists all the series of the author in order.
Yeah, you mentioned that one time.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
It's really nice. So I think I'm going to do for this week's videos, I'm doing a vlog now that I'm finally feeling mostly better. I'm going to do like joint wise, not feeling sick, but like I was really having a hard time with my joints. I think I'm going to do a vlog, and then I think I'm going to do a spotlight of Thanksgiving books, not necessarily series, but like just the Thanksgiving books within this series that are out there, because I think that'd be fun to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have a tag that I want to do coming up, so I think that's going to be this week.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I have this week. I have a book addiction tag coming up, and it'll be my Game of Tomes wrap up.
Oh, cool.
That's what I have this week.
Cool. Nancy said, I use Fantastic Fiction for everything. Yeah, I really do like that site a lot.
Yeah. I've used the fiction database for some things. They've got another one. That's what Sarah from the Bookish Nerd uses to get all her Harlequin information.
Yeah.
If she's reading like an ebook, it doesn't tell you like what number it is. And so you can look on there and then it'll tell you it's a number, 200 and whatever. Like.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Excellent. Oh gosh, Kairu's coming in, so he might be.
Well, if you hear some huffing over here, it's my dog.
I know Justin just wanted to say hi earlier. Mel said, I don't want to say which book because I don't want to spoil anything, but I read one written in first person, and at the end, the narrator was revealed as the murderer. It blew me away.
I kind of want to read that now.
I think I know which one it is. If it's like an old classic.
Ah. She said that one wasn't a cozy at all, but by a very well-known author. That's very interesting, yeah. She's waiting on Kairu right now.
I think she's frozen.
Oh, maybe she is.
Yeah. I know there is one book that Agatha Christie has that has that plot narrative there.
Okay.
There
you are.
Hello. All right. Come on, Kairu. Get up here.
The reader had no clue. That's freaky. Not a classic. Maybe about 15 or so years old. Okay.
Ooh.
So they probably got that from Agatha Christie.
Right.
Bo.
The dressing's so adorable.
She needs a haircut really bad.
Kairu has this thing, and so when we got him, he had been in foster care because his owner had passed away, and I think they were in their 80s, they said. So I don't know if maybe she crocheted, but as soon as I take out yarn, he like comes over and snuggles up to me and will lay on the yarn like a pillow. So I don't know if it's like she crocheted and like it reminds him of her, but he acts really funny when I get out the yarn. When I start crocheting, he's always like has to come over and he will like lay on it like a pillow.
That's cute though.
Mel said that wasn't cozy at all, but a very well-known author. Interesting. That's different. It is different. I think that would be fun though. The reader had no clue it was freaky. Not a classic. Oh, I think we read that.
Yeah.
Yes, Justin is adorable and very cute. And wanted to say hi. Well, this reader had no clue. Gotcha.
With the Agatha Christie book, I only knew it kind of ruined like my enjoyment because I was reading it and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I know how this is going to end and I think it was one of the Hallmark mystery movies. Spoiled ending because they talked about the book, and then I was reading it, and then I was like, yeah, that's what I thought. So it wasn't quite the,
right.
That's
funny.
Mel said, do you think it would give too much away to name the author? I want people to be able to find it if they're interested, but don't want to spoil it.
No, because you don't know what book it is that the author wrote.
Who's the author?
Yeah. And everybody wants to read it now. So you have to know.
Yeah.
You'll have to read all the books from that author trying to find it.
There you go.
Tell us. We're like waiting on.
Yeah, we're on. What is it?
Like type.
Nancy's like, yes, author would be good. So.
Oh my gosh, Kairu. It's ridiculous.
You read thrillers, Lee. Have you ever read Peter Swanson?
8 Perfect Murders or something, I think I read.
That's one of them spoilery books too, because I think it spoils the ending of like eight different
8 different classic books.
Yeah, my friend's like, you got to read it. It's so good, and I'm like, nope, not going to read it until I've read the books.
All the books, yeah. I had to commit. I was like, I don't care. I'm just going to read this book. It's fine.
He's like a hit and miss author, so it's kind of fun.
Yeah. I didn't read any other ones. James Patterson, not part of his series, is standalone. Okay.
Now we have to go.
That really didn't give away anything because he writes like 20 books a year.
Yeah, like there's a ton of James Patterson books. So.
Believe me, you're fine.
That's what Nancy. I was like, yep. Now we have to look up all his standalone books.
Right. That didn't give away anything. We're good.
I just actually read The Guilty by him, so it's not that one. So you're good there.
He's too. Yeah.
Now he's like one of those, like, when you talk about the very formulaic, his is all kind of, he has this like detailed outline and everything. And I think that's what, like when he has all those written by him and somebody else, It's because he's gave them his detailed outline, and then
And
they
they
just
write
fill in
it.
the rest of it. So it's written by both of them, but it's pretty much still like his idea. So,
Right.
and I know that's why a lot of people don't like him.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
okay.
I did not know that he has a book out next year with Dolly Parton.
Oh,
I'll be
I didn't
reading,
know that.
even if it's terrible.
Even if it's
Yeah, I was
terrible.
like that too. I was like, well, I may have to look that one up because I like Dolly Parton.
That's so funny. He's teamed up with some interesting people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because didn't he do a book with Hillary Clinton or Bill Clinton?
Bill Clinton. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Louise Penny did one, I think, with Hillary Clinton.
LOL, I was thinking the same thing. And then Mel said, I think it's about 15 years old. It's at least 10.
And I help narrow it down.
We're good. That does help narrow it down. Yeah.
Hi,
Does
bud.
help.
Well, it's always too busy.
I was thinking because I read the Mr. Lemoncello middle grade series by Chris Gravenson. And I thought that was by James Patterson as well, but there is always a blurb from him on it, so maybe he was like associated with it coming out. I don't know. But
do you like that series?
Do
you like that series?
I love that series.
I've seen it. I haven't tried it yet, but it's been on. Like, I always look at it and I think maybe I should try that. I haven't tried it.
It's very Willy Wonka-ish, but picture games, puzzles, library, teamwork.
I like that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I love it. I love that series. So.
And what is the series called?
Mr. Lemoncello's Library, and then there's a bunch of different ones like Escape from Mr. Lemoncello's
So it's kind of like a mystery series for kids.
Exactly, problem-solving mysteries. They work together.
I'm down putting it on my list.
Yeah, it's really
Your dog just fall?
No, she jumps down and then she gets mad and thinks that I should pick her back up and put her up here. That's why I blanked it out so that I throw her a little ball up in the air and then she has to come over here and get it. So she's chewed her ball up until it's like
nothing.
She tore all the felt stuff off of it.
Aw. Nancy said, my granddaughter just won the 50 and 100 meter, I'm assuming, swimming against the 5th ranked team in the country.
Wow.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Congrats.
That's amazing, Nancy. You should be proud. That's awesome.
It's
really
220.
cool.
It's 22.
Yeah, I was gonna say we
let's do
our
it.
mark there.
Okay.
We got a little chatty.
Okay.
I'm just, while I'm listening, I'm gonna lay down because my back is starting to hurt me, so I'm just not gonna be on here for the.
I'm going down to fix something for lunch. So.
All right. We'll read till 40. Is that good with everybody?
Yep.
All right, guys. Happy reading. Hope you enjoy. Oh, gotta put it up. All right. Oh. How was your sprint?
Very good. I'm 77% through.
Excellent. You're moving. I am 89% in Granny on board.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's a fun one.
I'm loving this one.
I'm so excited. 17 days. 17.
See, I want to even say something, but I can't spoil anything or even bring anything up. So, well, even though it's on the cover, so it's not really a spoiler. But
that's what Storm said too. She's like, I need you to read it because I want to ask you a question. I'm like, 17 days. I'm very, very excited for it.
Yeah.
I'm
loving it.
Everybody's saying that's awesome. That's so great, Nancy. Yeah. I bet she's so excited. Hi, Breezy. It's good to see you. And then Hannah came in. Hi, Hannah. How is everybody's sprints? How did you do? How are you on your book? Are you enjoying your book? So, oh my goodness. If you hear the snoring, that's my dog. That's how loud Kyrie snores. I don't know if you can hear it, but he's laying next to me and he's really
the ambulance going outside.
Well, he is really snoring it up. He had to get 3 shots yesterday, just like the normal, update shots. But so I don't think he's feeling real well.
It's a relaxing day for him.
Yeah, he had a busy day yesterday. Cation said she read 5%.
Nice.
Oh no, Anita lost power. Oh, she got it back. Okay.
Yes.
Just got it back online. Okay, I'm so glad to hear that.
Nice.
That Anita read 7%. That's awesome. Storm said, I'll be back in a minute. Excellent, Storm. If your dad's wanting lunch, don't give him any salt.
I was just thinking that.
I'm just kidding.
You can skip the salt.
I'm just kidding. I might finish my blanket today, although we're going to be leaving when we get done here. I probably have. Never mind. I don't know. We'll see. I'm trying to get a couple more blankets done because in like 2 weeks, I'm going to be buying all my yarn for next year because I buy it on Black Friday.
There you go.
Yeah. Michael's, if you crochet or knit or anything like that, Michael's has really good Black Friday yarn deals.
Oh, maybe I'll get some stuff for my mom because I have no idea what to get her and she loves to crochet. So
there you go.
She does a lot of crocheting and needlepoint stuff. So
it's expensive any other time. So that would be a great gift because yarn's crazy expensive considering, how much yarn it takes to make one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in that case, I always make blankets. So blankets takes a lot of yarn to make, and it's so expensive. So that'd be a great gift.
Yeah, I'll get her that.
Nancy said I got distracted, but at 69%. That's awesome, Nancy. That's really great. So
she got distracted being a proud grandma.
That's right. That's right.
That's nice though.
Yeah, that's really cool. What was I gonna say? I don't remember what I was gonna say. Are you reading On the Lam for next Saturday?
I am. I was actually going to look and see what I have on my list that I have to read for. I don't know why this week has been such a. You know why? Because I know why. I get a lot of my audio done at work. And now with having to train this woman, none of my audio goes on because I'm busy training her. So even when I'm not doing something with her, I'm still like thinking about what I have to do, answering her questions and that type of thing. So I'm off my audio game.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
I do have that one on the Lam. And I still have my book spin books to do, number 3 and 4. I haven't read either of those. I had all these Nora Roberts I was going to read this month. I doubt that's going to happen because I have to read my Descendant-a-thon books as well. And I have not finished any of those. So I'm God, the thunder's coming again. I'm failing November hardcore, so.
You should just listen to yourself and not done the readathons.
You're absolutely right. And that's why December I'm not going to be influenced by anything.
In December it's a lot of like Christmas readathons, I feel, and so I'm okay with not doing those.
Just mark it on the calendar, guys. Today, November 13th. 14th. I don't know what day it is.
13th.
Lee said that she would not be participating.
Mark it down. Yes, I'm not participating in anything in December, especially because January I have my readathon.
Yeah. So you need a break before that gets started, and I need a break before I start your readathon too.
Because you have a lot probably on there that you can do off that one. So.
Yeah. So.
But I definitely have On the Lamb for during the week. Yes.
Yay.
Yeah, I have to get that one. When I get done with like Malamander, I should probably read that. But
see, I think that's the thing. We keep saying I should read that, and then it's something else, and then
it's not high priority for me because I don't. The series is just okay, and I'm just feeling like, and I can't just pop in an audiobook and like listen to it and get it done. And so I just keep putting it back. Oh, and then there's so many books on my like want to read for November anyway, so it keeps getting pushed back. And then I'm like, oh well, phooey, it's like coming up, and I'm gonna have to read it because like it's gonna be like a week, and the month flies by, and you think I can keep pushing back. No, I can't push it back anymore.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. Lisa,
we had a bean and rice burrito with some hummus on it or whatever.
Ooh, that sounds good. I love hummus.
It was something easy to fix. So.
Sounds good. Lisa said, I didn't read, just chatted with mom. Awesome. Nice. And it said, I just borrowed On the Lamb. I should start it today or tomorrow. Excellent.
Maybe all week we'll have like little sprints on the Discord for the On the Lamb book to try to get us through.
Right.
We'll work together. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. You're fine. Mel said I went to start the Krista Davis Domestic Diva series. That is on my SAS list, and I read so many of them this year that I think I only have one more, and I am caught up.
Nice.
And there's 14 in the series, so I'm,
has there been any like cozy mystery series that you've did that with, like you're trying to catch up with them, that you start to where you don't want to read them anymore?
Oh yeah. Domestic Diva series is kind of one of those, because that series to me is hit or miss. There's books that I've really, really enjoyed in it, and then there's books that I really just didn't care for in that series. Yeah. And I do think a lot of people say this. Cozy said it a couple times, and somebody else said it on my channel the other day, and when I thought about it, I was like, you know what, they're right, where so many characters are introduced per book that it can be very hard to follow. Yeah. And I read one not too long ago that almost had the same premise as another one in the series. And I was like a little frustrated because, I mean, don't get me wrong, I could never write a book ever. And I know it's very hard work, but I'm like, you got to come up with something different. You can't use the same exact story again.
Right.
Yeah. Right. But, and I'm sounding like I really don't like it, and that is not true. I do like it. It's definitely not one of my favorites, but it is a good, solid read. And some of them are very good. And then other ones are and so, but Storm, I think a lot of it is I read so many of them this year. And I should have just stopped it and took a break, because that's what I did with the Cleo Coil, because I love that series and I didn't want to get to where I wasn't enjoying it, that I was like, okay, I'm kind of burnt out. I'm just going to stop. And so I haven't read one of those in a long time now, at least a couple months, but I was reading so many of them in a row. And I was like, okay, rather than getting annoyed and getting to where I don't want to finish it, I'm just going to stop. But I think that happens a lot with especially I think probably with doing the SAS list.
Yeah, because I had the Mary Muffin series on my SAS list, and I only needed to read like I think 4 of them out of that series, but it's just one of those series that I think is just okay. It's not like a favorite, so that I'm like can't wait to read the next one. But I just push myself. Oh, I only have like 2 more left. Let's go ahead and do it. And I read them fairly close together, and then the last 2 ended up with like 3 stars because I think I was getting tired of it, and I was like, oh, I'm not enjoying this, but I just want to get it over.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point.
That's why I said I can't binge like Ro does, because I think I would burn out too much if I did.
I think it depends how many there are too, but like, yeah, if you're saying there's a lot, then you're going to get burnt out. If it's 3 or 4 and you're into it, I feel like you could sprint through those pretty quickly. But when I see like 16 or 17 in the series, I'm like, oh man, this is intimidating, and
Yeah,
it's going to take a while no matter what. And yes, you're going to get burnt out.
Me and my friends working on the Virgin River series, and we're both really enjoying it, but we're not like pushing ourselves to read one each month or anything. It's just whenever we want to, like, we decided to read one this month. So we're going to read Temptation Ridge. I think it's called. It's number 7, 6 or 7. One of those. And we had a really bad like month with our reads last month and stuff, with them kind of being bombs or whatever it is. I said, we need something fluffy.
Well, Virgin River is a good one for that.
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes too, that's all it takes too, is if you're reading a series and you just switch to one book in a different genre, you can come back to those again too.
I just think with the Mary Muffins, like it's an okay series, but it's just not one that I shouldn't have binged, because by the end of it, even I only binged like 4 books, but still
you're like,
I was like, oh. Not like, whenever I binged like the Library Lovers series, like I was just like, give me more, give me more, give me more.
Right.
This was just a series that was like, oh, it's okay, it's not bad, but by the end I was like,
no, I agree.
Yeah, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Anita said, I have about 6 books to finish by the 30th. I'm so far behind. Oh, what I started to say, what you reminded me of is when there's so many in a series, I started in a video. It struck me as so funny that I think it was the Jessica Beck Donut Shop or the Murder She Wrote. There's like 50 some in both of those series. I was like, you could read one a week and it would take you a full year to get caught up on that series. Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah, it amazes me that there's series out there that are like that they have so many. Like when I found out how many, were in like the JD Robb series, I was like, oh, I want to read that, but oh my goodness, that's like it's probably going to be one of the series that I put on my list next year, because I really want to try it, but it's going to be one of those I start. It's not going to be one of those I finish.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And the progress is what really counts. So I think that's perfect. Nancy said, I really don't do many readathons either, except for this club, because I have too much I want to read myself. Gotcha.
Yeah. I think that become my problem as I got, later in the year. It's like, I don't want to read that, but I can't find anything else for that prompt.
Yes.
Yeah.
With the Believe-a-thon, it's pretty easy. It's middle grade, and I can do just about anything with middle grades. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I have 1 and 4 sitting here, though. If I can't find the other soon, I'll be waiting till next Christmas to read book 4. Gotcha. Breezy said, I did start on the Lamb, and I am enjoying it so far. Still early on, but I'm liking the setup so far. I thought that this was a reread for me. This one, I had not read 2 and 3, so I read 1, and then I had read 4 in the series, and I think 4 is the best one of the series for me. But I am rereading it now.
Gives us hope.
Yeah, exactly.
Nancy said, I enjoyed On the Lamb. Breezy said, I do better spacing books out if they are in the same series. Once a month is usually as close together as I can do. Gotcha.
And a lot of times, even if I'm like super like in a series, like with the Pendergast series, I read Relic, and I really liked it, so I went and got the second book. Now, will I rush out and get the third book? I don't know. It depends. But it was like the first, second. But I don't do that very often. A lot of times I'll read the first book and then I'll just, okay, that's not on my list. I don't hunt up the next book. And I need to do that more and or at least make myself aware of it more.
True.
Yeah, and I think that makes a good point. It depends on what the series is. If I'm really into it, that could be different.
If I'm into it, I'm gonna go and go and go until I'm either burnt out or it's done because I'm
caught up. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people like that. They'll just go and go and go and go, and it's like I can't do that. I can go and go and I peter out.
Right. But like you said, if it's okay, I'm not that interested. Yeah. I'm just gonna chug along. But if I'm loving it, oh yeah, I'll blow through them. But because like Nancy's saying, I need variety. Sometimes I don't want the variety. Sometimes I just want to stay in that world for a while and hang out there. Yeah,
I love the Kate Daniels series by Iona Andrews, and I wish there was more in that series because we did that one. Me and my friend Barb, one a month, and I was always looking forward to the next one that we were going to do that month until we ran out. There wasn't no more. It's like no.
Yeah, you want to go back to that world. That's the great part about reading,
So she has spin-offs from that series, which is kind of nice because then you still get the characters.
Some of the characters, yeah, that's nice.
Nancy said, I'm with you, Breezy. So, Nancy, that was about the once a month of reading a series. Oh, Nancy just downloaded the first Virgin River. Yay. Don't watch the TV show. Or I'm not saying don't watch it, but don't
expect one to be the other
of the book series off the TV series because the book series is vastly different and 100% better.
The book series is fluffy, feel good romance.
Yes.
The TV series is drama and then romance.
Gotcha.
And they messed up all their storylines.
They did. It's really different. Yeah. It's quite a bit different. Yeah. Mel said, I started Kate Collins' Flower Shop series earlier this year, read the first 4, and will read some more next year. I stopped because I had too many summer, fall, and holiday cozy reads to read this year. I hear ya. I'm so excited about
it. I think Cozy likes that series. So.
Yeah, she does.
Yes, the Flower Shop. Yeah.
I've read 2 of them. That's it.
I love long series, but I don't usually read series back to back. I hop between a few. Yeah. I just enjoy each book and don't worry about getting caught up. That's smart. I like that.
I'm looking at my SAS list. I'm like, I put these books on. I think I put the series on there hoping that it would push me to read the series or whatever. And I've noticed all of them, it's I've read these, I skipped these ones. I read these. I'm like, yep, I didn't want to read those, but trying to make myself do it. And I still didn't do it.
Got to do it now.
Yeah, I don't want to get to where I feel obligated. Like what you're saying, oh, well, I got to. I don't want to feel that way about a book. And it feels.
I figure either if I get to them, I get to them. If I don't, I don't. But it's just funny because it's I really must not really want to read those.
Right. That's what I'm saying. When it feels like it's going to be schoolwork, I'm done with that. I don't want to feel.
And one of them is the V and Burns series, the Mystery Shop series or whatever.
Okay.
That has the book in the book.
Oh, by V and Burns.
Yeah. Yes. I've read 2 of them, and I there's 6 or 7 of them out now, and I'm like, man, I got way behind. Darn, that's too many of those to have to read.
Breezy said, I'm the same occasion. I usually just have a few I'm working on, even though I have many I've started. That's what I did this year. I kind of rotated between 4 or 5 different series and just went, in a rotation, like a circle. Next this, then another one of these, and just kind of.
I did that for a while on my SAS list, and then I got down to where I only have these certain ones left, and it's oh. I should have put some of those in there, and then I wouldn't just have the ones that I really weren't in the mood for.
Yeah, no, that's.
One of the series that I haven't read, and I don't know why, but it's on my SAS list, is the Cedar Cove. I don't know.
Ooh, yes. Read it.
Because I'm on 6, and I'm like, there's only, 6 to go, I think. Like, I think there's only 12 in that series.
Oh, I love that series. Is that one you're not enjoying?
No, I like it. It's on my list, and it's just one of those that I just never got because I'm on number 6. And I was on number 6 when I put it on the list, so I just haven't read it.
Oh, I absolutely love that series. Nancy said her granddaughter I'm guessing with one, the 100-meter fly. So proud. You don't have to apologize. That's amazing.
Very
I love
good.
that. That's awesome. Mel said the in-depth series has been going on for like 25 years, but the actual amount of time in the series is only a few years. I go over to my grandmother's on Saturday mornings, and we were talking about that just this morning because she's a big reader, and she was reading number 11 in the Stephanie Plum series. It was on her coffee table, and I was like, I thought you were further along in the series, Grandma. And she's like, I don't know. She's like, but she just gets her books, a lot of her books from the clubhouse at her retirement home. She just goes up and grabs whatever's there. So I think sometimes she just rereads a lot of stuff,
Right.
Just
I don't
whatever's
think she
available.
cares. Right. And I said, I said, well, in the newest book, well, no, sorry, the last book, number 28 just came out, but in 27, there was a character introduced that's now got their own series that's starting up. So I said, I think that maybe Stephanie Plum is going to be ending soon. I don't know that, but I've been thinking that for a while.
Mhm.
So I think that since she started another series that's a spinoff, that maybe it's coming to a conclusion, but I don't know. Number 28 just came out, and she said, well, she's got to be getting up there in age. And I said, well, the funny part is, I think it's a lot like the Death series. It's been going for 25 years for us readers, but like 2 years has passed in time because they just write it as like the cases, like one right after another. So 28 cases could be in 1 year's time.
Right.
So really, only a single year has passed in Stephanie Plum's life, but we've been reading the series for 20 years. Yeah. So that's funny that you said that because we were just talking about that. Because my grandma's like, she's got to be getting up there in age for a bounty hunter. I was like, well, I don't know.
See, that's
she's one to talk. No.
That's how that's how I used to feel back in the day reading the Babysitters Club. It was like, can we get out of 8th grade and being 13? Like, I've gotten older. Can they get older too? But, that didn't happen.
Right. Right.
It's like they had like 30 Christmas books, in 8th grade. And it's like, come on.
Yeah, exactly. Lisa said, I don't read a lot of series, but when I do, I have to read them all at once. I love a good trilogy, but long series aren't my bag. Gotcha.
I agree.
I read a trilogy and wish it was a series.
True.
That happens too. And, I read almost all series, but that's because most of my books are cozy mysteries and they're all series.
Well, that's like me. It's like I read regular mysteries, cozy mysteries, romance, middle grade, and
thrillers.
Well, yeah, thriller, and a lot of those are like series, no matter what. So
right,
there are a few that are standalones, but most of like the middle grade that I like to read are series because I like the fantasy and adventure ones and stuff like that, or paranormal things. And I don't read a lot of contemporary, and the contemporary ones are like the standalone ones. So.
And it's the same, like you said, with romance. So when I do read romance, it's all series. So
that's, I think, not why I like thrillers, but one of the things I do like about thrillers is they're usually just standalones. So
yeah.
It was like I was looking to see how many standalone books I read this year, and like out of like the 200 and some that I've read, only like 51 or 2 or something like that were actually standalone. Everything else is part of a series, whether I started the series or I was in the middle of a series or whatever. And I was like, wow, that's a lot of series.
Mm-hmm. A lot of series.
Yeah.
Nancy said, I love Cedar Cove. I think I'm on number 9. I love that series. It's my favorite series by her, besides the Christmas series. The 2 that I like. I have been watching Virgin River, but good to know books are different, though. I do like the show. Books are very different, and they are much, much, much better.
And I think if if somebody's not going to read the books or not reading the books, then they're probably, and I think that's why the show is everybody's really enjoying the show, because I think the ones that are really enjoying the show haven't read the books and probably don't plan on it, and they just like the drama of the show and things.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think the people that have like read the books are like, oh my goodness, they're like screwing up everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to separate it. And I still get aggravated. Like I've watched like the 3 seasons that they have, I think, but I hate watched the last part of like the season. You were so messing up stuff.
I only watched the first season and then I was like, I'm just.
I think I like the actors and stuff that's in it, so I watch it. But
yeah,
like the guy that plays Preacher, like he's like one of my favorite guys. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look it up to me, see if it's the guy that I like.
And he's been in some other like Hallmark movies and stuff too.
Oh, Colin Lawrence. That's not who I was.
Wait, the Preacher's the bartender, right?
Yeah, the black guy.
Okay, yeah, I like him too. Yeah. I didn't know I didn't recognize him from anything else. That's why I wanted to make sure. I was like, wait, am I thinking of him? Cation said, yeah, I'm in some series. The next book is the next week or month or something close in time. Yeah, exactly. But like in the span of the like reading it, it's 20 years in publication years. So it's really funky.
The actor that I liked from a different show plays Mark Monroe on Virgin River. He was Mel's late husband, who was a doctor.
Oh,
so
he's not on there very much.
Yeah, that was an actor that I liked. So
gotcha. What did you rate the Thursday Murder Club, Storm?
4 stars.
It says he is a TV host comedian. And he's like never off my TV. LOL. I don't want to read the book and start hating him. Wait, I'm confused.
Me too.
Like the author is a like producer, like TV host, comedian. He does all this stuff on like TV.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look
Richard Osman. Yeah.
What's their name?
His name's Richard Osman.
Richard
or Osman. I don't know how you say it.
But...
Yeah, but I really liked it. I thought, it was fairly good. I think some people didn't like it quite so well, but I like the senior sleuths. I mean, one of the senior sleuths is like a retired like detective, like inspector or whatever, like and stuff. So she brings the cases that they work on, like in their Thursday Murder Club. They use cold cases, and then they get involved in a real case. And it's like... And they had some pretty witty banter sometimes.
That's nice. I like that.
I love the older sleuths, so I probably would like that too.
Yeah. Well, that's why I said I think Tiffany would like it, because there wasn't like a lot of blood and gore. Some people are like, this isn't it was not real cozy. It's a little grittier cozy because there are a lot of like murders or something. But I mean, I've known some cozies that have had like 3 murders in the span of one book. So I'm like, that's not really.
Yeah, that's not really what makes it the cozy or not to me necessarily. I
agree. Mel said it's disappointing when some series end after only a few books. I was sad that Julia Buckley's. Oh my God. One more time, Tiffany. Julia Buckley nailed it. Writer's Apprentice series has ended, and Carleen O'Connor's Home to Ireland series was only 2 books. I am the same way. There are several series that I'm really disappointed that only went a few, for sure. And I just don't even understand, because actually Julia Buckley's Undercover Dish series that she just put out a new book in, independently published like last week. So I'm telling you that, Mel, because maybe she'll do the same thing with the Writer's Apprentice, because I mean that was literally just last week and it was out of nowhere. It's been a long time since the Undercover Dish series ended, but that was one I was really disappointed only went 3.
The publishers probably go on how much people are still buying the book or reading the book or whatever, and if it doesn't get enough attention, then they're not going to waste their time on it, even if there's still a bunch of people out there that really want to read it.
What is conflicting to me is authors say that they can't buy, they can only buy the rights back after so much time, and they say that sometimes there's not a specific time, it's based upon the sales. And I'm like, well, if the sales are good enough that they want to keep the series,
Yes.
then why aren't the sales good enough to write more in the series?
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like,
because maybe the sales are good enough for them to keep it because they want the money from it, but it's not doing as well as they would prefer it to do.
you know what, Storm, I don't like your practicality. I'm just okay.
Stop making sense over there.
Logical here, Storm. I'm just mad that the Tanya Kappas, Mamie Bell cake series only went 3.
I knew that was the one you were talking about.
Yeah, and it's frustrating probably for the author though too.
I'm
Because
sure
they probably want to make more books in that series and they can't until they can get the rights back.
Well, clearly she can go on and write a bunch more books because she's on 26 in The Camper and Criminal. So,
well, one of my favorite series by her only has 3 books, and I'm like, write some more.
Which one is that?
I think it's called Spies and Spells.
What was it? I'm sorry.
Spies and Spells series.
Oh, Spies and Spells. Okay, yeah.
I think that's what it's called. But it reminds me, like, I think she must have been a real big fan of Scarecrow and Mrs. King. Because I swear it's like that in book form, except the lady's like a witch or something.
Right.
It was so funny and it was so fun. And I just like read all 3 of those real quick. And then I'm like, oh, she never wrote anymore. So it's like,
I also think the same thing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Lee.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I also think the same thing of like Kylie Logan only got 3 in all of her series. Well, I think in at least 2 of them, which is The Ethnic Eats. That was definitely a great series that should have gone more than what it did. And her chili cook-off series, that was such a fun series, and it only went 3. But she hasn't written new series either, so she might have even, I don't know if she's still writing. Right. I only say that because maybe it just ended because she wanted to, as opposed to a publisher thing, only because usually they start a different series, they create and something new to write, but she hasn't done that. So I don't know. Maybe she's not writing anymore. Oh, no. I might have. Okay. Sorry. I was about to say, I might have said that wrong in the heat of the moment. So many series are only 2 or 3 weeks. Hi, Elizabeth. We were talking about you earlier. We were gushing about your SAS challenge and how it helped so many of us finish a lot of books this year. We appreciate it. And I just want to tell you, Elizabeth, I sent you a private message on Discord. So just wanted
on your message, you meant the first week of December, right?
I did. Lee said the same thing to me. And I was like, of course I did. It's already November.
I'm like, she doesn't even realize it's the middle of November already.
Well,
I figured that's what she meant when I was like, okay.
You never know with me and this noggin, but
finding a book you haven't read is going to be really hard.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah.
Challenge accepted.
I love it. Nancy said the thing about fiction is they can use whatever time frame they want. Exactly. That's totally true. Tiffany, I watched your Julia Buckley interview, and she did say a future writer's apprentice is a possibility, which I'm very excited about. I enjoyed that series a lot.
That's another one I need to catch up on because I've read almost all of them, and then I haven't. I think I have 2 left.
I did get frustrated after the 3rd book when poor Sam was a suspect every book. I'm like, leave the poor man alone. He's not guilty of murder.
I think that's what was my problem. Like I read like 3 or 4 of them, and then I was like, will you just leave Sam alone? I like Sam. Go away. Do something else. I'm tired of reading this, so I quit reading it.
He was like a suspect every time. I'm like, for the love of God, the man is not a murderer. Can we
in the final book you find out he is.
Yeah.
He was tired of being accused. He tried to see if he could get away with it, and he could,
It's like, arrest him already or leave him alone.
That's hilarious, Lee. That would be so funny. And a horrible
would not be cozy.
No.
Nancy said that's why self-publishing is a benefit benefit, not at the mercy of a publisher. Absolutely.
Do you
And this
guys
is
ever
where I was talking out my wazoo. There is only 2 books in the
Two
series.
books, yeah.
I was just in the heat of
He
the
was
moment.
wanting another book.
right? Do you guys ever think, like, I mean, I know legally this can't happen, but like kind of seeing maybe if a publishing company sees how well an author does on their own, kind of spitefully don't want to give up the rights to the book that they had with the publishing company?
Could be.
I think that could happen only because if they've gotten bigger on their own, their name is more well known. So then people might look at other stuff that they hadn't read before of that author. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so
But say, like, let's say they only had 2 books with a publisher. They go on to write a different series that's super popular. They want the rights to that first book. The publishing company's not going to want to give them the rights because they're not going to get anything now.
Yes, because if they weren't, like, if she wasn't known as Mamie Bell, which I didn't for a long time know that was Tanya Kappas.
Mm-hmm.
And I read it and I really enjoyed it. But say I hadn't read it, but I was really into the Campers and Criminals and I hadn't read the Cake series. I think that's a good example. I think that, yeah, I would absolutely, as a publisher, be like, well, now everybody knows the name Tanya Kappas. They're going to see she wrote the Mamie Bell Cake series, and they might start picking it up because they loved her writing as Tanya Kappas, but she wasn't well known at the time that they actually published the series. So they're not going to give it up. I'm sure that happens.
Well, it's like with like Julia Buckley. She's like really, really popular. You know, I mean, a lot of people know her Cozy Mysteries, but then she wrote that new one under Veronica Bond or whatever it is.
Oh yeah.
And like I was talking about it on my blog because I had got the e-arc of it and I had put it, you know, on Sundays we do this the Sunday post is what we call it. And that's when you just talk about like things that you did this week, books that you got this week and things like that. And I put that on there and I said, I'm excited to give this a try because I really like Julia Buckley and this is just another book. And one of the comments I got was, "That's Julia Buckley?" And then it was funny because I follow that lady's blog and everything. And like the next week she books read that's on her blog because she knew it was, she didn't know it was Julia Buckley. So she didn't read it. But then when she knew it was, and she jumped on it and like read the book real quick. And that's like, I don't see why they make them, you know, do different names.
Right.
Unless I guess it's a different publisher you have to, maybe. I don't know.
True.
I would think if you want to publish this person, you're publishing the person's work.
Yeah.
Under their name.
Yeah, that seems silly.
You know, unless they're writing something completely different, like a thriller and a cozy mystery, then I might want 2 different names. But
sure. Elizabeth said, "Wow, I haven't thought about Scarecrow in
I just watched it the other day. I got all 4 seasons on DVD.
That's awesome.
It was my favorite. It's the one series I can remember really well from my childhood.
Oh, that's sweet.
There you go.
Shannon said, "I love Thursday Murder Club. 5 out of 5 for me."
See?
Nice.
See, me too. That's I loved the Ethnic Eats and I thought it was well deserving of more than 3 books. And I love the Chili Cook-Off series by her too. And that was, I think, only 3 books as well. And I thought it deserved more. But again, she hasn't written in a long time, so I don't know if maybe
that was her intention, was to only do 3 and then that's it. Yeah.
She said they sort of tied things up at the end, so maybe it was supposed to just be 3.
Yeah. Well, that could very well be because Kylie Logan is also Casey Daniels, and her Pepper Martin series is one of my favorite series of ever. I love the Pepper Martin series. I didn't realize that was the same person because I was thinking of I was making sure it wasn't Joyce and Jim Levine passed away.
Yeah.
And so I was making sure it wasn't them because I know that they have a bunch of pen names.
Okay.
Because they wrote under the name J.J. Cook, who wrote the Sweet Fire Brigade or something. And I liked that series a lot. And it's short, but they've passed away. So unless somebody takes it up, it's not going to continue. I was making sure it wasn't that same person. I know. I love Sam West. When I read reviews of that series, people either love him or hate him. I guess he's polarizing, but I love him. I love him too. And I say, leave Sam alone. He's not
It's
a
been
killer.
a while since I've read those, but I don't know. For some reason, I think the way he's described was like my kind of man kind of thing. So I was like, I like Sam. Leave Sam alone.
There you go.
Even if I didn't want him as a romance between the main character, I just feel like there's been 3 books and the only like the prime suspect is the same person every time. Even if it was someone I didn't like, I'd be like, leave the person alone. There's nobody else in town you suspect, I don't know. So.
And I get it. He was suspected of murder before and his wife was missing and they, but still it's like.
True.
Yeah. Yeah. Elizabeth said, I only have the Christmas novella left in the Writer's Apprentice. It was on my SAS list to read in December. Excellent. Nancy said, I love Sam West. Can't imagine why anyone would hate him. I agree.
And I think it makes in my eyes, like the cops aren't very good at their job if they can only pick on him because he's been a suspect before.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, because, I didn't like that series, but didn't the cop have an interest in the main character at first? So he's probably just, hating on Sam.
The cop did have interest in her, yes.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yes. Mel said, when I was a kid, my parents watched Scarecrow and Mrs. King. I remember it was on Monday nights. 18 was on Tuesdays. Oh,
yep, I like that one too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Is that with Mr. T?
Yes. Yeah. I pity the fool.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. I have to tell you this. And maybe I've already told you. I'm sorry if I have. But when I was doing counseling at the residential facility, we would take the kids to like NA meetings and different stuff like that. So we would have like vans. And when, what's it called? GPSs first came out, they of course got them and installed them in the vans for us. And Mr. T must have been looking for some cash because he did the voice. And when you would take a wrong time, he'd say, I pity the fool that rides with you. I pity the fool. And then it would correct you. And I would laugh so hard. And none of the kids had any idea who Mr. T was. And I'm like, well, that's just sad. So then they get to watch movies on the weekends. And I found something that he was in and they were like, this is stuff, and then I was like, well, all grumpy.
Well, when I first got the Scarecrow, found out that they were on DVD and that I could get them, it was like there's 4 of them. And when they came out, it was one like a year or something. I was like, I have to wait for the next one. And I'd like watched the season 1 like 20 times before the other one came out or whatever it was. But I was working at McDonald's and there was a girl there. She was in her 20s. I think you're like early 20s. I was talking about it and she's like, well, that sounds kind of interesting. So I was like, be very careful and I'll let you borrow it. So I let her borrow it and stuff. And then she liked it and she's like, can I borrow the next season? She like,
there you go.
So I was like, yeah, I made a fan.
Aw, you introduced somebody.
That's too like awesome. We had that Stranger Things came out and Sean Austin was one of the characters on it. And a bunch of like younger 20s kids at work knew him from Lord of the Rings. I don't remember the character he played. And I'm like, he's Mikey from Goonies. And they're like, what's Goonies? And I'm like, oh no, like we can't even talk anymore right now. Go sit on the other side. When you find out what it is, that was like another time me and Chris were talking about Cobra Kai.
Didn't he say Sam, whatever it is?
Sam Baggins or whatever his name is on Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
I can't remember his.
But I knew him. I mean, I knew he played that role, but he was Goonies. He was Mikey from the Goonies. That's who he was.
Right.
And we were talking about Cobra Kai. And so Chris says to one of the younger kids, he's like, oh, have you ever seen Karate Kid? And he's like, I have seen Karate Kid, but I know it's not going to be the Karate Kid you guys are talking about. So I'm just going to say, no, I haven't seen it. Because he saw the one with Jaden Smith.
Yeah.
He knows this Karate Kid. And he's like, but I know that's not what you're talking about. So.
Well, it's like talking about Don Johnson or was it Tom Selleck or something like that. And people are like, who? And I'm like, oh, just get out. Just
exactly. I can't.
You're too young. Go away.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It's always so funny. Yeah, the same thing. We got Nissan. One of our cars is a Nissan, and when it's a 2016, and we bought it, and at the end of 2015, and I thought this was really crazy, but the 2016 Nissan did not have power windows. It has the old crank windows. I'm serious.
Wow.
And I was driving it when we first got it, and I drove it to work, and I said to somebody, "Can you believe that it has crank windows?" And the girl was like, "What are you talking about?" And the funniest thing, she was like 22, 23. And she's like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "The crank windows." And she's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." So I take her outside and I show her, and she spent probably 5 minutes doing this. And I'm like, it doesn't change. Like, she was so fascinated. And I was like,
You're like, it's
laughing.
not a novelty, it's a burden. Just stop,
Exactly. But it was so
Although
funny.
I think I would rather have one of those if something happens and I go into the water. I mean, at least you could roll your window down.
Exactly.
Well, the 2016 Nissans, I don't know if the other years do or don't. I have no idea, but I wouldn't recommend the car, period. Just so you know, just for future reference.
It's like watching those on YouTube or something. I think they have like where mother or whatever puts the rotary phone there and tells their kids to like try to use it, and they're like, okay, I don't, how do you?
No idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Mel said, "Lizzie, me too. I only have the Christmas novella left."
I'm bad. I do not read novellas to consider me done with the series.
I don't either. I mean, if I'm really enjoying the series, I'll also read the novellas. Like, I think I've read all the novellas in the Amish Candy Shop series.
I've read all but one on there, yeah.
But in general,
I love them.
That's what I mean.
I did them because they
really
fit the
enjoy
Willy
a
Wonka
series.
There you go.
Yeah, but if I really, really enjoy a series, I'll read the novellas. But if it's just like a series, I think it's like I think that the Food Lovers Village, which somebody read this month, The Trouble at the Jam Fest, is part of the Food Lovers Village by Leslie Budowitz. She has one more book following that. It's like a 5.5, and it's a novella. And I'm like, I'm
done. I'm still done. Unless she comes out with an actual full one.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. If she writes a book 6, I will read it.
Yes.
But I'm not interested enough because I have a hard time with novellas anyways, because I feel like by the time I get invested, it's over.
Yeah.
So,
but then I really like Lynn Cahoon's books, but I don't think I've read but a few of her novellas. It just depends, I guess, maybe on the characters or what. But I think a lot of times the novella mysteries, there's just not enough there.
Yeah, totally. But I do. So I think the romance novellas are different. It depends. Yeah. Even those I don't like if they're a new story. But a lot of times the novellas in romance series, and I love these, are like a follow-up. So it'll be like a character or characters that you saw introduced in book 6, and then they come back to them and it's like 3 years later and they're kind of like telling. I love that.
Yeah.
But I still don't even like when it's a novella if it's a new couple introduced, because I was really, by the time, I don't think there's enough substance there for a mystery. I don't think there's enough substance in cozy mysteries, and for a romance, I don't think there's enough substance to be like, in 60 pages you convince me that these people are living a happily ever after and even know each other. I'm like, do they know each other's middle name? That's like my test of time.
Well,
do you know middle name?
Novella romances are insta love.
That's what I'm saying. I don't buy into that though, so I don't care for them.
So I mean, you don't get the whole like banter throughout the whole thing. It's just, their eyes met and there they are.
Yeah, that's why if you already know the characters, then it's fine. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and they've already had a whole book, and it's just an update. Fine, but I'm just not an insta love fan in any way. Anyways,
I hate insta love. The only time I'm okay with like insta love is like if it's like a shifter romance, because I know that's kind of, it's a wolf thing or a pack thing, or like that. I can kind of see, but
gotcha. Reese said, "I always skip novellas too."
I don't feel so bad now.
Cajun said, "Me too, unless I find out it contains something important."
Yeah. Yeah, like there's some like in the fantasy books or something. I know that people are like, you have to read this one, and you have to read this one before you read this one.
Well, I was gonna skip the Amish candy shop ones, but Elizabeth was like, "No, read them. They're worth it." And I'm glad I did because they were like the side stories with her cousin, like going to New York and just like her
Yeah,
little
see,
back. I like
like
that.
Coco, I thought was just okay because it was her in her like
It
cousin's
was
point of
the
view.
other one's narration, but when it was her cousin, I loved them.
But it was the cousin that was doing that one in that Criminally Coco, I think, when they went to New
Was
York.
it?
I think when
Yeah,
they
when
went
she
to
went
New
to New
York.
York, there was one novella. It wasn't from that cousin's point of view. It was somebody else, and
There's one more that I haven't read yet, and so maybe that one's
that could be it then. Okay, that could be it.
is it Candy Cane Lane or something like that? Or something
Candy.
about a candy cane.
I know that's going to be the cousin as well. That's going to be the cousin as well. I forget what other one it was, but it was just not from
Because
that.
botched butterscotch, I think, was from Bailey's point of view. So
Maybe that was it then.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I'm all
I
caught up.
liked that one better than I did the Criminally Coco one.
Okay.
Donna said, "Hi, I'm back. I am beginning to read novellas in a series, going back to the series I completed in print. If the novella is available from the library as an ebook, excellent."
Like I read a novella when I found out that you should read that before you read this one book, and then like the rest didn't file. So then I'm like, man. So then I have to try to find the not, I didn't want to pay for it. I didn't want so try to find something that it's in that I could get it because a lot of times they do those where there's like 3 or 4 novellas or something, like a whole bunch of different authors write a short story and they put it in like the anthology or something. And it was like one of those, and then it's like, I don't want to buy that just for the one story because I don't like really to read anthologies. So I'm like trying to find it while it's by itself.
Yep.
I did manage to find it though.
Nice.
Oh, good. Excellent. Nancy said, "I've got to go. This was fun. See you on Discord later. Bye, Nancy. Thanks for coming. Tell your granddaughter congratulations."
Yeah.
Elizabeth said, "Well, if you're serious about your series, then I think you should read the novellas." Aww.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like the teacher busted.
I'm serious about my series.
That's exactly it.
Yeah. Busted. No, I'm kidding.
Because not a lot of the series I read have novellas. Just the cozies, it seems like.
Yeah, that's true.
Some series have too many novellas. Yes. Just about every other release.
And one of those I would like to say is one of my favorite series, and that's the Tourist Trap Mysteries. I think there's too many novellas. I'm like, quit writing the novellas and write another book.
Yeah, especially when it's like every other book, in between every book is the novella. If there's just like, if there's 10 in the series and there's maybe 2 or 3 novellas, okay. Yeah. But not every other one, then you really just want to write a book.
Exactly. I agree.
Yeah, because like the Tourist Trap, there's like 0.5s and 0.35 or point, it's like, come on.
0.124, come on.
Yeah. 3.25 and 3.5. Give it up. Write another book.
Right. Put all of those together and you have a book.
There you go. Right. You'd have a full-length novel for sure. If I love it, I'm the same way, Anita. If I really love it, I'm probably going to read the novellas. Mm-hmm. In one of the Amish candy shop novellas, becomes a TV star. That is true.
That's the Criminally Coco, I think, because they're in New York or
New York on that one, yeah.
That is true. Well, guys, I need to about wrap this up. Okay.
Yep.
So it was
April here. I got April coming over now. So
I don't know. She's gonna torch you even though it's raining.
It stopped for a minute, and I was like, "Damn!" But then it started again, and I'm like, "Yes." Now I don't hear it again, so who knows? She'll be like, "It's okay. Like, your feet will just."
Do you guys not have like a gym membership in case you?
Luckily, no. She has the gym memberships by her. She's put me on, and just in case we need to go. What is that? Whoever needs to, just in case they need to go to the gym. No.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, if it's raining, that's a just in case they need to go to the gym.
True. That's true. She can give it. She can give it up for a day. It's fine.
Good luck with that, Lee.
Thank you. Thank you.
I was like, wait, you are talking about April. You said she could give it up for a day.
I wish.
I wish you well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sometimes authors will write novellas that are mashups of 2 or more of their own series. That's true too. Yeah.
True. So
Mel said, I had fun. Bye, everyone. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it. We will see you Wednesday. So Wednesday's either going to be a regular sprint or I need to check in. So it might be a like a speed dating night for books.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Not like I'm hosting a
If
speed dating.
if
No.
they get back with you, or is it just
No, they've gotten back to me. I need to check in with them again because they were interested, but it'd been we started arranging it in like the middle of September. So I need to check in with them and make sure that they're
still on board with it?
yeah, still on board doing it. And I'm fine with either not or the only reason I started is because a lot of authors had reached out to me and wanted to do interviews, like asking me, can I do an interview? And I'm like, oh, that's kind of strange. Not strange, but I'm like, oh, and I don't feel good with doing that unless I've read the books and enjoyed them because I don't know what's in your book. And I'm not saying there's anything bad in your book, but I don't want to be having somebody on my channel and endorsing them, feel like I'm endorsing them and find out that they wrote an animal cruelty into their cozy mystery. I don't feel good, so I just don't feel comfortable with that. But I told them, so the speed dating concept is they each have 1 to 3 minutes and they pitch their book and then people can ask some questions. So I'm not endorsing them. I've never read them. These are kind of like independent authors, but I don't mind if somebody tells about their book on their channel. And then if,
you don't want somebody coming back to you and said, you had them on your channel and I read them and it had this in it.
Yeah. This is not an endorsement of their book of any kind. That's why I'm not doing it as an interview. I'm just letting them pitch their book. And then if it's a cozy mystery that you want to pursue at your own risk.
Right. I was wanting to have Hunter Shea on my channel. I was going to see about him, because I really like him.
Yeah.
I didn't really care for his latest book. And I'm like, oh man. Because I don't want to have to be like, yeah, I liked it really well. So I'm like, skip that. Maybe we'll do the next book and see if maybe it's better.
Yeah. That'd be cool though. And I think you should do the interview, Storm. I know you'd be a little nervous, but you should still do it anyway. I think that would be very cool.
Especially because as a whole, you really enjoy them as an author.
Yeah. I was like really hoping I was going to like it. So then I could see if he wanted to come on the channel and I can be like, hey, yeah, I really enjoyed it. But then it's like, I didn't really enjoy it.
So you're like, I have nothing nice to say. So.
Well, I would just like
my friend liked it more.
I would talk about more like liking them as a whole. Like you're one of my favorite collection of horror book, author, blah, 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 and not necessarily talk about a specific thing that you didn't just like, but more talk about the books that you have liked.
And maybe I
think it's funny too, like when you read somebody's book and you give it like a low rating, and then I get an email and they're like, I got this book coming out and you want to read it? And I'm like, did you not look at my review of your last book?
But maybe they're trying to change your mind with the next one.
Which I actually did like the next one better. But it was just funny because I'm like, I asked my friend, I'm like, hey, this guy, like, you want me to read his new book. Did he not notice the one I gave him 2 stars on the other book? But it was a good concept. I like the concept of his book, but I felt like he was trying to make it longer than it should have been, like a short story. And he couldn't write anything but the F word in any different kind of way you could think about it. And I'm like, when you have the F word in like 3 times in a sentence, I mean, it's like, really? Mm-hmm. But it was about a killer kangaroo. And I thought, that was kind of a cool concept. I've never, it was an Australian kind of book and set in the outback and killer kangaroo. But yeah, it was just, the dialogue wasn't real good.
All right. Well, on that note,
we can do now.
Hopefully, so anyways, Wednesday will either be speed dating, and even if I do it, it'd be like an hour, like the recipe swap was, and then I'll do sprints afterwards. But I do think I have to end it and then start it like I did the other day, or it'll just be all reading sprints. I'll try to put it in the Discord, but I just don't know as of now. I'm gonna try to.
Could you not, like, if you want somebody to come on, I mean, you can just use the one, and then when they get off, you're by yourself, and then say, okay, now the other ones that have that, get on here, you can give them the same link, and they could just.
I told the authors that, and they just kind of like
lingered.
waited on me to like end it
Oh,
because then they
okay.
talked to me afterwards for like 2 or 3 minutes. And so it was because I had told them I was gonna, it just felt bizarre and they just kind of lingered, and then I didn't know how to be like, well, thank you for your, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
so
okay.
and like I said, when I went off, they both kind of waited for me and were talking to me for a few minutes afterwards. So I just figure I'll just end it, create another one. It only takes 20
Yeah,
seconds to create one, and then I'll
Right.
send it out. So Mel, it'll be at 6:30 on Wednesday Eastern time. Yes.
Gotcha.
And then one of these two will be probably hosting the Friday. Oh, Storm will be hosting the Friday night sprints, but you will see probably Lee and myself, and maybe other people, maybe Cozy. I'm not really sure, but it'll be on Storm channel this week, which is Storm Reads.
Or whoever wants to be on it, they can message me on Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never want anybody to. I feel the same way. You never have to just think it has to be us three. If anybody else wants to come on, just say it. It's not a problem.
That's always an ongoing thing, guys. Yeah. Always feel like if you're free and you would want to come on, message us.
Even if you don't have a channel, if you don't mind getting on here and talking, you don't have to have a channel. So.
Absolutely.
No, just come hang out and talk. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd love that. And like, and that's ongoingly. I know everybody would feel welcome to having you on.
Yeah.
So always feel like you can message us and say, hey, I'm free. I'd like to come on. That would be awesome. All right, guys. So we will see you Wednesday. Have a great night, everyone.
Bye.
Happy Saturday.